Yes, sir.
All right, guys, what's up? I am your host, the best spot, Kid Smooth. Welcome to episode 15 of the Planet Xbox podcast. We got the crew here today. We're gonna start off with the homie Chris Righteous. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. A lot of things going on in the world, as everybody knows, but I hope everybody's safe. Be smart, be safe, and yeah, there's a lot of things to address today. A lot of things about what's been going on in the real world, which is also affecting obviously the gaming world as well, and a lot of bullshit toxicity within the gaming community that also needs to be addressed as well. But it should be a good one today.
Yeah. And we got dope boy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hopefully everybody is safe out there. If you're protesting, protest safely and peacefully. Do not entice people who you're not supposed to be enticing, and hopefully we have a good conversation today.
And Nick Banks.
What's good, everybody out there? It's Nick Banks. Hope everybody's safe out there. All the protesters, that's doing things, the safe way and not riding. Shout out to y'all, the riders. I guess I hope y'all be safe too. I guess I don't know what to say about that, but let's go.
And Coy.
No, it's
Corey.
okay. What's good, everybody? What's up, panel? Yeah, hopefully it's a good conversation. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean,
We just woke up.
I mean, to be fair, I was on the brink of canceling the show. I wasn't going to do the show. I put in a DM yesterday that I wasn't going to do the show today, but because I was just really kind of just like in my feelings for multiple things. I mean, there's a lot of things I can't talk to people. Really, I really can't talk to people. I'm not, I guess, in with like society. The way things are like now, and it's like if you ain't with like if there's something that you're not like with, like it's like is this or you're all against us all. Yeah. You're all. It's like I don't like that mantra. Yeah. You don't
If you're not all the way one-sided with this, then you're completely against me. Pretty much is what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah. Thank you, man. I mean, because you don't know how many times I've been called a coon this week. Like it's, I just really like people disturb me, and I just don't like the way that society is set up to the point where it's like it's either this or that. And if you don't rock with this all the way, you this, you're that, you're bad, you're horrible, you're against this, you're for that. It's like I don't know when that become like the norm, but
Well, it's always been the norm. If you're against the grain and you're an independent thinker, and your views doesn't ally with other people's views, especially collective thought, they will label you a bunch of things. They will label you a racist, a bigoted. They'll call you a coon. They'll call you all these things instead of trying to engage in an intellectual conversation and try to understand your perspective.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I don't enjoy about social media is the fact that people are so quick to get disrespectful and call you out of your character, even though they don't know you. And that's why I confide in like-minded individuals who I can have a conversation with. Even though we might differ on certain ideologies, we don't get disrespectful with each other and call each other out of our name.
Yeah. It's what do they call it? Hive mind mentality or something like that? Oh, like,
hive mind. Yeah.
It's hive mind, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's how you say things, and then like people coming from. It's a lot of people, and I noticed that's in this community that's they come from a certain background, and I can kind of relate to it because I'm from like the east side of Baltimore. Like the shit you seen on the wire was like I'm from them areas that they used to show down there. So it's like when when you assume that somebody don't know anything about that background, you're gonna come at them like that. I mean, and I used to do that a lot, so I can understand, why they're doing it. And it's like you don't understand, Smooth. Like, you don't understand. Like, what are you talking about? You're a coon. You know what I mean? That'd
Yeah,
be their
but
first
somebody,
reaction.
somebody told me, I can't. Somebody based off my opinion, somebody told me, oh, I was born with a silver spoon. I was
That's my
brought up in
point.
a good home, and I'm like. I was like, how'd you know that? Wait. It's not how you know that, but like, how'd you figure that? Because my opinion is this. You
Yeah.
somehow just. I was like, really? I mean, here's the
But
thing. If I was,
go ahead.
here's the thing. Like, I'm from, I'm from, I'm from New Haven, Connecticut, right? I don't live in New Haven, Connecticut, right? I'm from New Haven, Connecticut. People think Connecticut, you
Word.
sound it's Connecticut. Every place in the United States has a ghetto. Every place in the United States have a hood, right?
Sure.
And Connecticut, those areas are obviously New Haven, Hartford, Waterbury,
Okay.
there's some other places considered in London, whatever. But like in terms of like that, all right, the places you want to avoid are like the New Havens and the Hartfords and shit like that. And I was born in, I'm from New Haven, so and I grew up like the whole like the stuff you see on the wire and stuff like in Baltimore. We're used to that. That's like sure that was dedicated to like that like the Baltimore area, but those areas have in common with a whole lot of other ghettos and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's why there's certain TV shows and certain movies that people like me and Nick could relate to. Like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? But so I took the guy who was coming at me on like Twitter like that. I'm like, wait a minute, like. And I was like, well, one, I'm not gonna sit there and like brag about like how many people, how bad the city I grew up from is. I was like, dude, I spent a lifetime trying to get out.
Right.
So like,
Right.
I can see if I was like a gangster rapper, right? And obviously at that point, then my mood would be, oh, let me tell this dude where I'm from, da 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 da. Like, I mean, but I'm not. So the fact that people are like just pulling things, and the fact that people don't understand, like, sure, you're gonna come across a lot of people from many different backgrounds, like, but I don't feel like I need to get into my whole biography of who raised me and who was in my household and the fights that I got into or the trouble that I got in. I don't feel like I need to do that to be able to say my piece in peace. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to. I have to meet some criteria. Oh, was I on food stamps? Did I steal from the store? Did I get beat up? Did I sell drugs, or did I like, you know what I mean? I have to meet this criteria to be able to say how I feel on a certain matter. Like, that's stupid.
It goes back to what I was saying. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't come off that way the way you're saying it. You understand what I'm saying, though, Smooth? Like, because I have been like that too, where I'm like, yo, I feel this way now,
Yeah.
so I don't have to even act like I know anymore.
Yeah.
But sometimes, man, like, even the Drew Brees situation, like,
Yeah.
he didn't even have to say anything, dog. Like, that was...
Yeah, I think that just came out of like left field, dude. I was not really expecting. What the hell he talking about flags for? Like, what the like?
Exactly. And then you can understand. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I see
Yeah.
now. Like, sometimes you got to just chill and be like, let me see where this going first, and then I'm going to try to articulate my words. Right.
I haven't been active on
Yeah.
social media because like
Yeah,
everybody knows what's going on, right? They see what's happening, but a lot of people are being reactionary,
Yeah.
being overly emotional instead of sitting back and actually looking at the landscape and coming up
Yeah.
with their own formulated opinion in their mind and how they process it instead of just following the next person and listening to what they say. Because all I'm seeing is people going back and forth having these circular arguments like that lead nowhere. It's leading nowhere, and these people are arguing and talking about certain things that, no disrespect, they're not educated on. And they're trying to engage. Like, I go on Facebook and it's like an 80 comment thread off of one post,
Yeah.
just back and forth, wasting their
But
time.
imagine,
what I said.
my bad.
That's what I
Coach.
said. I've been focusing on my own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
my family, my safety. I've been focusing on my exam that I have going on. You just have to move on and just live your life. Like, yes, we know that what happened with the George Floyd situation was uncalled for. Everybody can agree with that.
Yeah.
But
But how well are they still? How
blow
well
it
are
out
they
of
still
proportion.
dealing with it though, Coach? That's what that's like. We don't know. Like we probably moved on and start thinking different, but a lot of other people still probably involved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let
Yeah,
me.
and that's why I say one of my biggest things in my life that I focused on, that I've taken advice from other people, is how can you talk about how to lead a community if you can't lead yourself? How can you judge
Well, that's a
somebody
different
else?
Yeah,
subject.
Because these people are having these circular arguments, but they're not bringing any solutions to the table. They're just talking about stuff, like the obvious stuff, like the Captain Obvious. Like, oh, there's police brutality. There's this, there's that. Okay, but what's the solution?
Yeah. Let me address these super chats right quick. Shout out to Justin Moody. He says, "Tell Dope Boy Jay LeBron is the GOAT." And I'm going to say thank you to an account named Smoothin' Addict Sweaty Sleeping Bag for the $1 super chat. His message was properly deleted by Chris Righteous. Thanks for the $1, dude. That's all.
Yeah, no message.
Oh,
Deleted them.
okay. Thank you.
It says on
Yeah,
they're saying that I'm quiet in the stream.
I just turned you guys up just in case. I didn't know why. Yeah.
The audio levels and stuff like that. Now I want to go back to Nick's Bank. What Nick Bank is saying, when he was saying it's the way you say it. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Sometimes it is the way you say things and how you deliver your point of view. But at the same time, sometimes you could say something with the utmost respect and tastefully.
That
and
is
there's
true.
there's some people that will still label you, hateful, bigot, phobic, whatever. You know what I mean? So it's just like when somebody completely disagrees with you, and they have one point of view, you can have a completely different point of view from them. And no matter how you say it, how nice you are, or anything like that, they just don't want to hear it, and they'll just completely shut you down or insult you or just think negative thoughts about you, because they, in their mind, they feel like they are morally correct, right? Or they're objectively correct, and your point of view is objectively wrong. You know what I mean? So it's just a issue we face as humans in general in our societies and everything like that. So
no, and I get it, and wow, man, I'm trying to check on my mic levels, but I was like, I got 2 filters on. Am I still going stupid loud to you guys? Like,
nah, not to me. Well, all
right.
Chat.
Well, like, my thing is for, like, I mean, yeah, obviously it's been a rough week. It's been a shit year, but with everything that's going on, obviously we all recognize, what happened, and that the whole situation with George Floyd it's messed up, like all the others before him. I remember, was it 2018 or was it 2016? It was like 3 back-to-back, like fucking like wrongful murder
here in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was just wrong. It was the week Philando got killed, but his happened like right after somebody else's, and it was like something crazy. And I think they went crazy in Dallas and stuff. And I understood it. You know what I mean? I broke character on, I think, on this YouTube channel, and made like a video how upset I was about that. But so the thing is, what I had is like, and I even said about, and that, the crazy thing is, in that video, I was like, this sucks. I mean, the way that, we're being treated, and the type of energy it's creating, I can see like bad things happening, like crazy, the stuff I was afraid of happening right back then is the shit that's actually happening now. Right, like the shit I was afraid of when I was telling you, like, I'm afraid this is going to happen in this video, in that video 2 years ago, is happening now. So my reaction is like, yeah, I don't care. I don't, obviously protest, go ahead and protest. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, I've witnessed multiple protests, like in front of my face and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's fine. Like, I have no issue with the protest. But the thing that is like what's gonna happen though is things gonna get like crazy because what everybody wants to point out, like, oh, everybody's protesting peacefully, and it's not the case. It's not the case. It's the reason why you're seeing more, damage and destruction than you are seeing peaceful protests. Because maybe, yeah, sure,
Well, that's what they're putting out.
Well, yeah, you got to think
That's
though.
what they're putting out more.
yeah, but
Putting out more of the on social media. They're showing more of the destruction and anything.
But
like
you
that.
gotta think about it.
More so than the peaceful protests, because there are peaceful protests.
There are peaceful protests. Like my
right?
town had a peaceful protest right here in this town, and then the next couple towns over, obviously Newark. Remember, I was tweeting about Newark, New Jersey. They had one of the peaceful protest.
Police is protesting.
Yeah,
right?
So those were the things like, and obviously my concern was like, damn, I don't want these protests to get like any closer because you don't know who's influenced. And just to give you a heads up, somebody did try to act up in Newark, and then he got rushed by people, by regular people. He got rushed. So the thing is, it's always that thought. It's like who's already been like influenced to fuck shit up, because everybody's seeing all the destruction going on. It's like, all right, it's our turn. Like, all right, who's gonna be that group to actually now start it here? And I mean, and that's something to worry about. Like, I mean, for me, it's something to worry about because I mean, I'm out. I have to get out and and go to work and travel to certain places. It's just certain stuff I don't want to have to like freaking deal with if I don't have to. So,
and it's important to make a clear distinction between people who are trying to spread the right message and be leaders in their communities versus those who are being destructive and they're looting, pillaging, and they're destroying their community. And there's a clear distinction between those two.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I'm not feeling like, and I don't want this to sound like messed up, but I'm not feeling people like trying to fight for like our plight. That's not us. So if you're seeing, all right. So for example, you're watching these the people that's going crazy, right? And you look at a lot of these people representing in these protests, right? And a lot of people that's represented in the rioting. Look at the like who are these people? A lot of these people aren't black. Like, I don't know if you guys been paying attention to that.
A lot of it's like Antifa. And
I've been seeing that as well.
Like if you've been paying attention to a lot of these,
I get what you're saying.
I
understand they're trying to show support. And
stuff, but I feel like it just I don't know what it was like.
No. Let me tell you this. I've seen people on my social media personally. For me, I've seen people on my social media who's never spoken out on the plight of the black man and the black woman before. Never a day in their life. I've never had a conversation with them about that. Yeah. But now they're on social media typing up paragraphs about this situation. And I'm like, so you've been on this planet 20 plus years, and now you believe that there's an issue in our country in terms of systematic oppression and racism? You just now waking up to that. So a lot of these people that I see on social media, and even some of these people in the crowd at these protests, are just there to virtue signal and to hijack the moment from all the black people as well, and trying to speak on their plight, even though you can try to understand. You're not in their shoes. You've never experienced anything like that in your life. So you shouldn't even be the person who's speaking on that. Let the black man and the black woman speak on their plight and allow them to have that platform.
Well, it's more of a trend, right? Since it's trending, right? And then they see everybody else is speaking on it or whatever. Then they want to be included in as well. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to be viewed like, well, you're not saying anything, so that means you don't care. It's like, well, no, let me say something. Let me tweet out something, and hashtag Black Lives Matter or whatever. It's sad that it takes this long for these people, because this has been going on for.
Dude, it's been going on for a hot minute. Yeah, it's been. Yeah, this is not new.
Well, right?
It's not new, and that's what bugs me.
This isn't nothing new.
It's not new.
When you see all these companies.
Hold on. Go ahead. It's just like, since the social media and everything, it's like you know what I mean. People are seeing it more often, but it's like, imagine the stuff that happened, like a George Floyd situation, that wasn't recorded. You know what I mean? That wasn't in the news or anything like that. Like, that shit happens all the time. It's like, cool, you want to be outraged about it. If you're sincere outraged about it now, right? If it took you this long to see it, cool, right? That's cool. But from here on out, it should be a consistency. You know what I mean? It should be a consistency that whenever this stuff happens, right? And not only just like, and there's stuff all over the world of like, you know what I mean? There's freaking Christians in the Middle East who's getting burned and their heads chopped off, and nobody's, you know what I mean? I don't really see a lot of people say stuff about that. What I'm saying is, it should be just a consistency. If you genuinely feel something about it, right? It should
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
consistency.
Not
So
convenient. It shouldn't be
not
convenient for
convenient for
you.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people will be like, well, some people will be like, well, oh, the peaceful protests don't work. Well, the violent protests don't work neither.
Yeah.
Because there's been
it's 'cause
violent
they
protests.
don't,
Yeah.
bruh.
Because
Like that's the point. Like
the violent protests in the past
hold up.
has
History has shown us that no peaceful protest has ever worked out in the oppressed
neither does the
favor.
violence.
Hold up, though, because y'all been talking this whole damn time. Like the point is that these people who come out and they speak on these things, they're coming from a place of it's very disingenuous. So like when they see you comment on something, like they thinking like, damn, like does he really grasp the full like it's like an iceberg. So it's like everybody who's talking shit about this peaceful shit, they only seeing the top of the iceberg. Like they only seeing the tip. So it's just like when you look back on history and you look at the Black Panther Party and how it spanned across the other countries and all of that shit. And like the actual history about fucking the Bloods and the Crips and like the history shit about the Pride Parade and shit like that. Like where black people were very centric in that movement. There are so many movements throughout history in which violence it was bound to occur. Maybe it didn't have to occur, but peaceful protests were tried from the jump. Even Angela Davis said that like let me find the quote real quick, because like that peaceful shit doesn't work and it doesn't get you anywhere.
My question to you
Hold
is,
up.
Neither does the
all right,
violent one.
all right, go ahead.
And I'm approved
Because I have a question. I have a question for you after you finish.
It's like being held by a captor. Y'all understand that? Like we've seen it in movies and all of that shit. Okay, and this captor is burning you, beating you, plucking your fingernails off, urethral insertion. He's doing all types of torture and shit to you. And then you say, please, sir, may I leave? May I go? May I get this? May I get a drink of water? May I do this or that? Blah, 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 blah. No. And you ask this multiple times over and over again. No. And we've had plenty movements throughout history, not even just black movements, but you've had plenty movements throughout history in which violence wasn't the first resort, but it became the last resort to get movements and laws and like just like big changes to occur within very oppressed society.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's like what America understands is that this shit can happen over somewhere else, and they're all for it. They see that the government is fucking shit corrupt and really shitty and all of that. But then when it's something over here and you see that it is in abundance, you see that this shit is happening all the time, too much. Like it's just like it's so fucking frequent. And in people, they bring up white people. White people always killed at a higher rate. That's ratios, dumb shit. There's more fucking white people here, so obviously it's going to happen.
But that's still a bad
Facts.
thing.
Point
Though.
is
It's even worse that
these
it's
people
more.
it so fucking much that they're okay with it. Like they're fine. Like they only get like super upset where their faces are red when it's a black person killing a white person. But let's say it's a cop killing a white person, white cop killing a white person, or just blue, all fucking around. Like they will take it, and they'll just be like, "Well, he must have been doing something wrong." That's your go-to assumption. You're a fucking idiot. And then you have all of these people. When they do get the evidence, then they got to come up with some other fucking backward stance on why it happened or why it's justified that this person was killed or abused the way they were. Like, how come there was a fucking incident in which, like, there was a boy and he didn't have his mother. Like, his mother wasn't around. He was an autistic boy, right? Okay. So he's out by himself. He's yelling for his mother. Yelling for his mother. Cops pull up. Their first approach, why is your first approach to go to something violent when the boy, he doesn't recognize or like register with you? You should be able to tell off observing his behavior what the fuck the problem is. No, but you know what they did? They fucking chased that boy around, tased him. He was a white boy. Let me just add that for context. He was a white boy. He ran around the car screaming for his mother. They beat him with the motherfucking sticks and they tased him and pepper sprayed him. You know who came out in justice for that shit? You know who came out in justice? Fucking black people came out in justice for that shit. Fucking crazy. That people were in comment sections. You know there's a George motherfucking Floyd, what is that? Like a little game or something that fucking white people are doing? You know that, right? Like they're taking pictures with their knee on their friend's fucking neck. Now where they do that at? Where they do that at?
I mean, you gotta.
Like,
I expect
it. Fucking different. Like so, you know. so like when you come off and you say that these things are more in the shit important than these things, or these things shouldn't be happening like this. You cannot police and you cannot gauge how people react with. This is not just the tip of the iceberg frustration. This is fucking years and years of motherfucking frustration. That's what this is. You cannot police how people react. Like you cannot choose like this moral ground of like, look, if you guys just did it peacefully, they wouldn't hurt you. Like there are multiple stories and accounts that in which people, they're doing fucking opt-ins, right? That's what they're doing. Like, so when you see fucking shit police and you see these people like they're kneeling down with their reverends and pastors and out there in the street, and you see them kneel down and hug these police officers and shit like that, people have come out an hour after that motherfucking incident with pictures and all of that shit, with all of that, clearing up what actually happened after that photo was taken. They're doing this shit for the good cop narrative. So those people, after they took those photos, those men fucking opened up fire with gas cans, all right, with the tear gas and the pepper spray and the pulley sticks and all of that shit. Like they opened up on those people after those photos are done. And this is from multiple accounts in different fucking states. In different states. Just like the injustice spans across different states. Shit, it spans across to other fucking countries. Like
so
the ideology
I have a question
of like,
for you.
oh,
So,
the lighter your skin,
or
like
is peaceful protest?
the more positive, or the more less to do crime you are.
Question: Is peaceful protest
do you understand
and violence the only two options?
Mentality, especially black people
Corey.
in the black community.
No,
do you
that's
even
not the only
understand
option.
why half of the motherfucking black communities are so downtrodden? Do you even know of Black Wall Street?
Corey,
do you know that? Like, do you know how that occurred?
Corey, we asked you a question, Corey.
Like, it's not a game, and so people like
oh
these
shit.
companies,
I think he
like,
might have lowered our volume.
We hope as gamers. We hope is all of this shit. We hope
Yo,
that these motherfuckers are genuine in what they're saying. We do, but we know like it's this businesses trying to like gather up the people. We know that, but we hoping that somebody in these companies is genuine.
You're correct. Can you hear us?
We really are.
Yo.
Like Jack said, no one wouldn't have got charged if motherfuckers were not out there.
That's true. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
That's facts because of the whole outrage and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is,
no, he did.
Right. This stuff. Okay, you say that the
violence in the
I had a question for you. I have a question for you.
That the violence in the the violence in the riots and stuff like that, it's working. It's working. Hold on. Right? People say it's working, but how long does it work for? If it's temporarily, then it didn't work. And that's the thing with the thing in the past when people be like, well, violent revolutions worked out in the past. If it worked out in the past, why do we continue to have the problems today? You know what I mean? If it truly worked out, it might work temporarily. Sure, that's cool. But if it happens a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, 20, 50 years, your grandchildren's still seeing the same thing.
Then you have to do it again. Like you cannot
Then it's
keep
just a
letting
cycle.
people.
It's just a
No.
Yeah,
cycle.
then it's a cycle. Because
It
then
can't,
it's,
it
I
can't be
mean,
a, it can't be a president. You can't set this as a president. My thing is, well, I have a question for you. Based on everything that you said, right? Because
Go
you
ahead.
said a lot of things there, right? Is protesting and violence the only two options that you have to address the issues that we have in the society? Are those the only two options that you have?
Good question.
You have multiple ways, but the thing about trying to say that there are other optional ways is that you already have excuse me, you already understand just from the institutions in place that, like, how the hell are you going to excuse me, my bad, to go around these institutions to get some change? Where a lot of people, they think that going and becoming an officer is going to change
Well,
what the institution was born from.
I can
Do
answer
you
that
know what
question.
police came from?
Go ahead, Nick.
Well,
No, like I'm asking, like I'm
yeah,
asking all of y'all. Like, do you know where police originally came from? Like the idea, the concept.
Answer that for me.
When
It was to
slaves,
protect. It was to protect
me.
businesses.
yeah,
No, it was
Right.
to
no, hold up,
protect.
hold
It
up.
It
was to
was to
Look,
protect
protect the
businesses.
people from.
when slaves were freed, they created the police. All right, when they were free, it was to watch them, and it was, like you said, to protect property. It was to protect white property.
Right.
That's
So did a lot of
Yeah.
different from what we have now. It's the natural evolution of society
no, it's not
and
a
maintaining
natural
order.
evolution. Like, it's
So,
not a natural evolution.
so let me touch on to
Go
Dope
ahead.
Boy question though. Like
Hmm.
there is something that people can do. And I was a year ago I was trying to inform people about this. Like everybody has this thing where they like to, they think that all right, we all know the three branches, right? The
Of course.
executive, the legislative, and the judicial, right?
Yep.
And it seemed like the majority of people who go into this executive, to vote for the president or whatever, they put so much on the executive as if they actually make the laws that actually change things in your cities, in your states, when actually it's the judicial and legislative. I'm probably said that the legislative that's more important than the executive, because the executive only enforce the laws that's made from the legislative and the judicial, the Supreme Courts, the district attorneys, the DAs that we put in. People aren't paying attention. They don't even care.
And
They
they're not
think that
active in their local
exactly.
communities.
That's my point, and that's what we
If there's an
need.
issue in your local community, you address that directly within your local community.
Yep, and people still don't understand that. You know why? Because nobody's conveying that message aggressively like that. They're
So
Hmm.
you're
only
thinking
telling
that
you to
these
go and
people
vote for,
haven't?
well, we need Trump out of there, like, well, we need Obama. Like, either way, I always looked at it like, why do y'all put so much money into this stock? Like, that's not going to change anything. You have to
You have control over who are the elected officials of your state
exactly
and local governments. There's
right,
levels to it. And just because one person is in this high I see this power does not mean he has control over everything that's happening. But I want to say one thing though, because and this is gonna take probably like 2 to 3 minutes, but like people are so caught up in peaceful protests versus violent protests. But my thing is it's a thing of perspective, right? So I
right.
don't like I can't get it through my mind why people would engage in the destruction of their own communities. Looting, vandalism, like damaging public and private property.
Hmm.
And what leaves me even more confused is the fact that people try to justify those actions by saying peaceful protest never resolves anything, which is
Mm-hmm.
somewhat true. I can agree with that in some sense, but
Well, it's a voice of
I
them,
think
right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think the point behind having these protests is to inform and keep people educated on a lot of different things that are going on,
I
and
agree with that.
to spread the message out to your community.
I
That
want to
that is the point of that, right? And then
right.
there's other people that I see on social media that are talking about how a lot of these people a lot of these businesses that have been vandalized and destroyed, it doesn't matter because insurance will cover it. My thing is, I want people.
That is
I want people to
stupid.
put them. Yeah, let me finish this.
Go
I
ahead.
want people to put themselves in the shoes
That's facts.
of the
Salty.
business owners. Picture yourself in the shoes of a business owner. Put yourselves in the shoes of people who had their homes and apartment complexes burnt down, who are out in the streets now. Put yourselves in the shoes of people who had vehicle damage, whatever it may be, right? Like a lot of these people who are doing these things are not doing it because they're standing up for a cause. A lot of these people are doing that because it's self-fulfilling for them, right? So you have to put yourself in those people's shoes. What, like a lot of these people who had their businesses burnt down, their homes burnt down, their cars, public property burnt down, whatever it may be, has nothing to do with the George Floyd situation.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why you would destroy your own community. You're only harming yourself.
And I completely respectfully disagree.
And that's and my
Like,
thing. And my
yeah.
thing.
Like,
let me finish my point. Let me finish my
go
point.
Yeah,
So
we all
my-
gonna have to.
my-
Yeah, we
my
all
home
got to
got
burn.
burned down. Go ahead.
Because
Go ahead.
my thing is, if you operate in an orderly manner, right, and you operate with a certain level of decorum, and you band together and come up with solutions, that's more effective than destroying your own community. That's what I've been talking to with a lot of people about, right? About, let's say, all right, we have these issues. Let's come up with solutions and bring that to the table and try to open up dialogue in a way that it isn't hostile. That's the first thing, and two, isn't going to be self-destructive for us. And you have to think about it from a microcosmic level as well. You're only screwing yourself by damaging your own community, because you have to remember a lot of these business owners, right? I'm not talking about big corporations. I'm talking about first generation immigrants that came over here and said, "Hey, I'm coming here because there's an opportunity for me to open a business and live a life that I couldn't live in my native country." Or there might be a black person in their community who's trying to better the community by providing a service and a business that's going to benefit their community. You're destroying that. And why would they want to continue to do that in that particular area wherever it happened? So in doing so, you're damaging your local economy.
Yup.
Because any plans of these local politicians that they had in terms of reopening their economy and implementing mitigations to keep people safe in the event of us opening up our economy is now postponed.
Yep.
Though these are people that could have been back at work a month, 2 months from now, because we would have had the proper mitigations to keep people safe and keep them employed. There's 40 million plus people unemployed, no job. These are people that could be contributing to the economy by bringing in that money, sustaining their living situation, and keeping everything flowing. So that's one thing people don't tend to think about. Two is taxes. A lot of these vehicles and properties that people are destroying are funded. They're publicly funded by the government, your state and local government, and the way that they fund that is through your taxes. So good luck with that as well, because a lot of this stuff isn't right. And that's why I said we have to make a clear distinction between sending the right message and having peaceful protests versus those who are committing crimes.
Yes.
Because a lot of the stuff that's being done, it's criminal. And I would never understand why somebody would try to justify tearing down their own community, destroying people's homes, destroying people's vehicles, and destroying people's
It's a
businesses.
reaction though, bro.
Yeah, but it's poor.
Like,
All
I
right.
haven't. No, like I just.
No, let's move. I want to see what's.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Like,
No, I mean, there's a couple things, and I agree with Dope Boy in that, because it's not only people were like, oh, who cares about a Target? They'll be up in about 5 days. Okay, what about the mom and pop spot that they just burned down? That woman ain't gonna be able to like. Her insurance probably ain't as good as Target. Miss Five, so you go hit your own people up. The black guy that got shot in the back trying to protect a pawn shop, so he's a casualty of war. Okay, and then we got obviously public housings getting burned down. So now we're gonna just add more homeless to the street. So we're literally creating ghettos, like, because just like what he said about the economy, right? All right, so whatever businesses that were there, obviously now it's a hot spot. They don't want to go back there when shit gets straight. And then what's the end game? When it's all said and done, your grocery stores, your other businesses, housing, cars, all destroyed. What's the end game? Are they going to clean it up, or are they going to try to, go to other neighborhoods and try to shop there, or try to move to other neighborhoods after destroying their own? And even if they didn't destroy their own, they let the enemy come in and destroy it.
I knew that,
especially with Donald Trump, with Donald Trump saying that if this shit don't stop, he's gonna deploy the fucking military. And then if that shit happens, that's gonna be even more destruction,
Bluffing.
more chaos, more people. Hey, you never know though. More people getting hurt, more people getting killed by the government, right? And shit like that. More fucking places being burned down. And yes, there are people's houses that are burned down. From the looting and shit, I seen this dude.
I seen an apartment complex get burnt down.
Look it up. Enough, like, but it's just like
I seen this these two couples, right? It was a guy and his wife that had their own mom and pop shop and shit like that. The looters were coming in. They were trying to stop us from coming in. Yo, they beat the fuck out of the dude's wife in front of him.
Yeah, I seen that with the 2x4. With the 2x4, right?
What the fuck that has to do with the police? Fucking killing innocent people and not getting in trouble by it.
That's nothing.
You don't grab the lowest hanging fruit and try to paint the entire situation as that.
But there's too many examples in many different cities.
That's why I made a distinction. That's why I'm gonna say it again. There's a difference.
But the point is
you have to delineate between the two. There are people who are standing for the right cause, and then there are people who are committing criminal acts.
Okay, cool. There are people who will try to come in and they'll use it for their personal gain. That's with anything. We know that. But the overall, this is not why they're doing it. And to apply these like mom and pop shops, like there was a guy shop who got burned out or whatever, like he got that money back plus vote from people who supported him to get his shop back.
But that's not everybody's situation.
Hold up. Yeah, of course. But still, there are still people out there who are willing to give that funding, who are willing to give that support, who do not agree with the people who ran up in his spot and fucked his shit up. So to just paint that like, okay, yeah, all of these people are just doing it just to fuck.
Yeah, that's the part I don't like.
No,
people trying to highlight it like that's the like, you know what I mean?
You didn't hear me in the beginning,
but it's both ways.
You say
there are peaceful protests.
There are,
right?
but
I said that in the beginning.
Right, not saying that's all you.
But here, this is the problem that both sides are having. The people who are encouraging all this, they're saying, "Oh, it's peaceful protest." They're sending the army on peaceful protest. They're assuming that every protest is peaceful, and the people that are seeing the riots are assuming everything that they're seeing is just all riots. No. And both parties are wrong. I feel like there's a fair amount of peaceful protests, and there's a fair amount of rioting and destroying. And the reason why you're seeing a lot of the riots, because they're taking place in the biggest cities, cities that employ most, like people in New York. New York City employs Connecticut people, New Jersey people, upstate New York people, DC, Virginia people, like all surrounding areas, like you got and obviously LA and all. So if the biggest cities and they're looting and destroying those cities that employ people from multiple directions, so a little old freaking suburban town that's freaking private, that's peacefully protesting, it's not going to have the same impact if New York City and freaking fucking Atlanta is being burnt. Like it's just
because you're setting yourself back by destroying your own community, because these are businesses that could have been open. They had a multi-step plan on how they were going to reopen their economies. You can look at the governors and mayors of each of those cities and listen to what kind of plan and what roadmap they had. All of that's just being destroyed right now because people don't think about that kind of stuff on a microcosmic level in terms of, hey, if we decide to destroy our own community and destroy businesses, we're not going to be able to allow people to get back to work and provide for their families and be productive and do a lot of different things in their community. You're just damaging yourself by doing that. It makes
you're damaging yourself, but you're also making a statement, bro. Like, and that's it. That's all they doing.
Like it's like I don't know. Like maybe I gotta get a history book and have like fucking history sit down class with y'all. Like it's just like it's fucking crazy. Like they literally murdered a man. They literally fucking murdered a black man who used to feed his motherfucking neighborhood, barbecue, all of that shit.
Yeah, and that's fucked up.
Murked
Completely fucked up.
Nah, but nobody gives a fuck because he's black. They left that nigga's body out there for 7 hours.
That's not true. A lot of people give a fuck.
Hold up though.
You talking about the police officer?
Nah. So he wasn't a cop. He used to feed the motherfucking police though. He gave them free food.
And what was he doing out there? What was he doing out there? What was he doing out there?
Like he was a dude.
What was he doing?
Corner, right? He was a dude on the corner, right?
Right.
He had his barbecue pit out there, all that shit. Shit was going crazy. And it's just like, they murked this man. And they left his body out there for 7 hours, B. He was a star in the community, B.
Facts, Jack. That's all I'm
saying. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like you're worried about shit opening back up. You worried about this and that. Where people, there have been black people, especially on social media, who have fucking gone out there and been like, yo, don't do this shit here. We'll handle it here. Okay, we'll start a GoFundMe here. We'll handle this here. Like, they've been doing that. Like, but if you're worried about this opening up, you think that voting for this and that is going to sway when somebody drops that envelope on their desk and they tell them to implement this law, they tell them to do this, or they telling them to maintain this. Like, you're crazy. Like you're delusional to think that this system is not fucking it's slated to fucking just to keep us fucked up. Like, it's just like you cannot believe that.
I understand that, and I agree with you in that sense, but I'm not gonna allow a system to dictate how I'm going to lay out my life and how I want to live my life.
Man,
at the end of the day, I have control.
Bro.
I have control.
I mean,
I have control over my life and what I do.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna use the quote unquote system and oppressing me as an excuse as to why I can't achieve my goals.
Hold on, let me.
Now you want to talk. You want to talk about.
Yeah. I just want to take care of this one super chat. A1 Knowledge says, "Smooth. I'm trying to send a message via super chat. I'm not sure why it isn't explicit. I don't know. I just made you a mod, A1 Knowledge, so you should be able to get that one out. And I missed one earlier. I think it was like $2 from T Suckas. He says black people didn't end slavery by themselves. LOL. I think he was referring to the comment I made about other people. Like, but all right.
But they sure didn't do it fucking peacefully either. So it's just like
people have to put themselves in the shoes of those who lost a lot during the situation. People are dying. People are dying.
No, let me say something about this, because I keep hearing. Hold on, yo. Hold on. My bad, Corey. I just gotta say this before we get lost, and because people are saying it in the chat, and it's like when y'all talking about the businesses and the communities and blah 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 blah. These people are part of the community, and they dying innocently. Point blank. Period. They're tired of that shit. They're gonna the way. Hold on, but see, people gonna react emotionally when they're conditioned a certain way. These people know that shit. Come on, bro. Like they had this shit coming. Like all of these people, Biden and all, they knew this stuff was gonna happen. Come on, man. No fathers in the home. These people acting like they reacting emotionally to everything. So they know that they knew this was gonna happen. And what happened? People reacted real loud and real violent, and that's what happened. Casualties of war. Like, let's go.
So, question for both of you guys, and Chris, I'll let you wrap. My bad.
All right,
go ahead. Obviously, there's protests taking place all across the country, all 50 states, right? For pretty much everybody's pretty much saying they're protesting in the name of George Floyd, right? So you were in D-Nick, you in Baltimore, Croy, I don't know where you're at, but all right, let's say bricks come flying through your window and Molotovs and your place is getting hit. Are you looking at that as a casualty of war? Are you like, I understand, we are all upset at what happened to George Floyd. The cops are fucked up. This is what they get as your place burns down and shit like that.
But and now you're just about George.
Oh no, see,
but that's what that. But I see. I know it's not about George Floyd.
No, should I answer your question? Should I answer your question?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like if bricks and Molotov. Like, you got to think about where that came from. like where that ammunition came from. There were black people who spoke out about like big stockpiles of bricks on the side of the street, and they don't know where the fuck they came from. Like all the businesses on the street are already bricked up and built up. So why the fuck is there a
No, no, no.
flock of bricks right there?
Answer the question. If that happened to you, how would you react?
Oh, should
I
I
know,
be
cause I
upset?
know how I would.
Yeah,
I know how I
I'd be
react.
upset.
I'm
But
not. I'm not. I'm
hold
not
up,
gonna believe that these people are doing that for a cause. They're
I'd
gonna
be
destroy
upset.
my home and put my life and my family at risk,
Hold up though.
all
I'd
because
be
they want to
upset.
get all destructive.
Dude,
I'd be
I don't
upset.
care
everybody
where.
can
I
let
don't
that
care where it
happen.
came from. I don't care where that brick came from. You picked it up.
Yeah, of course. No, you should care where it came from. That's the point. You should care where it came from. But okay, like like it's a privilege thing now. After that, like so, it's like that. That's why also people think you're very disingenuous with your stances, because it's like it shows. It shows like there's kind of
You
like a
can't
veil
say
for
that.
you.
You don't know how he
I'm not being
feels.
Hold up though.
disingenuous.
I'm just saying. This is
If
what
he
people are
labeled them,
reading
let him.
into. This is what people are reading into. So they're thinking that there's a veil. Like there's a certain comfortability in like where you are. It's just like with like we're talking to bigger stars and shit. And they say, yeah, y'all people, y'all shouldn't do this. Cause I got businesses out here. I got stuff out here. But knowing damn well when they weren't in that position and they were on the motherfucking street, they was out there like, yeah, shit, I'm about to get this money. We about to bust it, whoever, and we about to make a living. But now it's that privilege. It's that classism. So it's like, okay, shit, I got money now. So like, shit, I'm not even about to worry about the lower folk out there taking these bullets for me, because at the end of the day, it don't matter how much motherfucking money you got, B. Like, if a cop pull you
Oh
over,
shit.
like, cause they've been pulling over fucking what the fuck was it? What she was like a district court attorney, all types of shit. They've been pulling them niggas. Oh yeah, how you driving this car, B?
Uh-huh.
Oh, who are you? Oh damn, let me get your ID. Yeah, I'm the district attorney. What's up? What you want to do? Like, they didn't know how to act. It doesn't matter how much money you got. It don't matter what your fucking house look like. You're black. If they see you, they gonna get you, and they gonna find out any and every motherfucking way to justify it.
So how are you gonna
Like,
fix
and those
it?
people
What's the
out
solution
there,
then?
and those people out there, shit, you need to dismantle
You
the
think they gonna
system
want to
from
see
the
that
ground
happen
up,
again?
B. Like, you need to dismantle the system ground up. Like, you need to take that shit apart and then rebuild it.
So what we gonna do? We're gonna
No, they
all
need to
get up.
change
We're
the
all gonna get up and
legislations, and they will.
we're gonna
Trust
get
me.
up and we're gonna revolt. That's what we're gonna
Like,
do. We're just
like you're why
we're gonna
the
have a
fuck are
civil
you
war.
so scared of that? Like, it's just like, why are you so like,
He said,
if
"Why
Ain't
you
this
nobody
shit
scared?"
does
scared.
not,
All right.
if this shit does
My
not happen,
my like I
if
said
this,
earlier, there's multiple ways. You don't have to rely just on peaceful protesting and violence to get
and
something
there
done.
have been people who have tried to
Because
vote too, though, throughout history.
from what I've been seeing, right, on social media and on the news, there's really no point in you destroying your own community just to get a message through.
Oh my
There's
God!
a
You
way
still
how
There's
sticking
you
a
to
way
break
you,
the
there's a way
system.
there's a way to show outrage without being violent and confrontational towards people within your own community and being antagonistic.
Like, even a dude
That's not a
said,
solution.
even a dude said, like, shit, he owns shit a black library. Even a dude said, this is the way that you bankrupt the system. Like, you keep these people working. You keep them out in the street. They ain't getting paid enough. Like, you keep them motherfuckers out in the street. Like, you make sure they don't go home. You keep them out there. That's how you do that. Because they're going to be spending for that shit. They're going to be spending to keep them people out there, to protect their property and all of that. There was a motherfucking guy out in D.C. earlier when my brothers was and shit like that. They went out there one night. They fucking pushed and forced them people into a corner. Think about this. Think about the imagery I'm about to paint for you. They pushed these people into a corner. All right. So they were trying, like, people were in their cars, putting their cameras out, trying to catch them, see what they was doing. Like, you got police officers flashing their light, trying to blind them to see, to blind their vision. That doesn't seem shady to you? Like a motherfucking man, like a random guy on the street, an Indian man, let a bunch of people into his house from being herded up like cattle and carried off to wherever the fuck they were gonna go. My man's little sister is gone. Are you understanding me? Like, they out there right now trying to find her. Like, you're not understanding that you cannot just fucking, you cannot piece this away. Like you can't write this away and these people are gonna care about you. Like they're going to reevaluate how they weigh your life.
Chris, you have something to
They're
say?
not. Well, I was gonna say they're not gonna do it either way. Like either way, like if we go fuck their shit up, guess what? They're gonna fuck our shit up, right? They're gonna fucking deploy these fucking police for military gears and shit like that. All of this is
Isn't
because,
it worth
right?
it? Shit, they even said to defund
If
the police,
if
demilitarize the
if
motherfucking
any of my
police.
family members die, then it wasn't worth it. But what I'm gonna say
Yeah, for y'all, like apparently, but like it's just like I've had many people motherfucking die for nothing, and it wasn't worth it.
you know exactly. It's not worth any
It's not
innocent
worth
fucking
getting
people
killed.
no matter what.
And people are being killed
There's
all the
all
time
this shit.
at the
Hold
hands
on.
of these people, and you think
No,
that
let
these
Chris
people are not
talk. Let
upset
Chris
about
talk.
that?
Let Chris talk. Let Chris talk.
No, this is fucked up what the fucking cops are doing. I think it's complete fucking bullshit. We need to fucking stand up to these fucking the government. And I'm not saying we shouldn't stand up to them, but the problem is when you got motherfuckers like this fucking girl. Her sister got killed by fucking rioters. You see what I'm saying? It's like this shit is crazy because the people who are encouraging and saying that we need to do a violent revolt and do all this shit like violently and just fuck up the whole community are sitting in their home not doing shit about it.
Like
they're cheering them on. They're cheering them on from home. Nah, yo, this shit's working. But what the fuck are you doing? You sitting at home, so you're not even fucking doing that shit, right? The shit is fucked up. The police shouldn't be killing fucking people innocently.
Not everybody can hit the streets. So
some of these people can, but they're still sitting at home.
When you're dealing with a revolution, though, when you're dealing with this type of shit, you want to have people out there educating. You want to have people out there advocating. You want to have some, if they can, with peaceful, do your best. But we have too many accounts of that shit not working today, right now. Like we have people out there fucking peacefully,
okay.
Where they were
let's see how it works out then.
With the tear gas. They was hitting people with tear gas. That's fucking against the law with what they were doing.
Yeah, so is arson, but okay.
Hold up though.
Bless Red with the super chat.
They weren't giving them people any type of way to disperse. You get what I'm saying? So
a lot of those areas also have a curfew now.
Martial law is going to be implemented like a motherfucker now.
They were fucking white people rolling down the street. Same curfew, right? You said curfew, right?
Yep.
Okay. They were the same motherfucking white people rolling down the street, right? Black people rolling right behind them. I guess going home. I guess everybody was going home. You know what? They had fucking 20 to 30 cops surround that car. All right,
hold on. Let me take care of these.
One more thing. They bust out the windows, grabbed those black people out. The white people in the car have head up them, smiled and waved. Those black people, they were fucking tased and dragged out of that fucking car. Like it's just like that should upset you. Like that should hurt you. Like it's just like that shit, cause that's something that you live through. That's something that will constantly, continuously follow you because of your skin. And some people may escape or lessen it just off of some classism type shit. Okay, some motherfuckers get lucky, but not everybody.
All right, Bless Red said for $2 the entire prison system is effed up as well. Yup, it is, and they just let out a bunch of people in prison over COVID-19, so they probably having fun too since we're living in lawless. But Keontae Harris, I think this is one of those troll accounts, says y'all gonna need new tap dancing shoes after this performance. He's referring to those who are against like really the rioting, so he's saying we're tap dancing for the white man. Which I don't understand.
I know what he's saying. Like,
Claude Charles says Kaepernick kneeled and Trump called him an SOB. We tried the peace route already. Every time we protest peacefully, we are told it's not the worst way. And then we also had the Compton riot, and we're rioting again. So obviously the Compton riot didn't work. Bless Fred says prison system is modern day slavery. Fair enough. Seek YHWH says it sounds like people are just scared of change. Voting doesn't work. Seek Yahweh. Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow, I feel
Yahweh.
like an idiot.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like a freaking idiot. Seek
Most people don't know.
Yeah, seek Yahweh. All right.
Yes, black cops are bad, bro.
Well,
like,
awesome.
what the fuck is you like? You not
Yeah.
understanding.
Let him finish the super chat.
Sorry, yo,
Let him
like,
finish. Let him
He
finish.
says, it sounds like people are just scared of change. Voting doesn't work. Protesting peacefully doesn't work. America was built on violence, money, and blood. That's what it responds to.
Exactly my point. That was my point.
Facts.
Yeah.
How do you react? How do you react to
I
a
definitely agree
system
with that.
in a
But let's
society
see. Let's
that
see
was
if
built
this
on
works.
violence?
Let's
Violence, so they're gonna
let's see if
respond to
this
your
works.
peaceful
Let's
protest
see
with
if a
violence.
year from now, if 5 years
No.
from now, that everything is 100%.
That's not
because of
that's not what people talking about. But when
Yeah,
they say
like-
work,
Like,
when
like,
they
you're
work,
trying
they
to
wanted
place all of this
justice.
on this one
Hold on, let me
fucking
get
thing
the
just because it hit a
You got another
fever
super
pitch.
chat?
Yeah, Keontae Harris says no, it's no troll account, just a real one. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Since y'all more worried about property tax. All right. Here's the thing. All right.
Oh,
All right. Here's all right.
Like,
Yeah, rest in peace, George Floyd. But what about everybody else as well? Like,
I mean,
are we it's something about this is
The
just
middle
weird.
class is what you're saying. The
Nobody's
conservatives.
saying the
What about those?
casualties
No,
are
nobody. Who
that
fucking
bad.
conservative? I'm talking about all the other. We lost many black brothers and sisters, like whether it be via cops and killing us, or just random fucking citizens arrest
Fucking
attempts, like the
hurt.
white dudes that killed fucking
no
Ahmad a couple weeks ago. Like
Yeah,
where was the
it was
protest and
crazy all
shit
over.
that week? Like, come on, man. It's like, yes, I understand George Floyd, but yeah, there's a whole lot of people like you can keep in memoriam and stuff like that. But like, come
you
on.
can't. But the thing is that you can't ride every day. If we had
Y'all riding every day. Y'all going on 9 days straight.
like,
9
hold up,
days
hold up.
straight, man. 9 days straight.
That's right, baby.
I just don't
to
understand.
count-
like, you
to
just do
count
set property
to
tax.
say that every time a single fucking cop has murdered somebody, yo, we're about to start rioting. It's it's just like you can't do that. Like
That's
I said
contradictory to
before,
what you've been saying, though, because you've been saying that we have to stand up and take a stand, and how peaceful protest doesn't work. So you're
Yo,
implying
you're not listening
that violence. You're implying that violence works.
And I knew that this would
You're-
go this way.
you're
I
implying that
definitely knew
violence
it would
works.
Go this way, like, because I expected it. Because like,
How can we not
I've been
ride
getting-
every day
I've-
then?
I've been getting migraines. I'll put it like this: I've been getting migraines trying to educate people on the history and all of that shit. I've been getting fucking migraines.
So they didn't. So they
So
weren't
hold up,
riding
hold up,
every
though,
day.
Hold up, though. I've been getting migraines.
Right.
Because like you're not understanding the black experience, and maybe you're so
Bro,
far. from it. Maybe-
how you
hold
telling
up,
me?
hold up,
How you
hold
telling
up,
me
hold
I
up,
don't
hold
understand
up,
that?
though.
Who are you to
No,
tell me I don't
no,
understand
you're
that?
interrupting me, and the thing is that that's just what it's.
But
like,
that's the thing. You
how
saying
y'all
I
were
don't
saying,
understand that?
Hold on.
how y'all were saying, oh man, like these people, they're not letting us get our rocks off and shit like that. Look, bro, you can say whatever you want. You can have whatever stance you want. This is America. So it's like that's just what it is.
I understand, but the fact that you're saying that I don't understand the black experience, you're literally doing what we just talked about in the beginning of the podcast, what everybody else is doing on Twitter, and that's assuming.
This is what I'm taking away from what you're saying. This is what I'm taking away from what you're saying. So this is what I'm hearing. So this is what I'm taking away from what you're saying.
Are you in the bathroom?
So
Yo, Nick,
that's all I'm
mute.
doing.
Oh, my bad.
Nick, me, yeah.
Look, y'all could have whatever stance in all of that you want. This is America. Just like racist people can be racist, hey, they could do that. But it doesn't stop people from reacting how they're going to react to it. So shit is like you can have all these different stances you want, but people are going to see that and they're going to gauge that, and they're going to be like, okay, so this is what it is in his mind, this is what it is in his world. So obviously something isn't clicking yet. Like,
But they could do the same. They could do the same thing to you though, too, if they don't agree with you.
See, but that's the problem, is that I have evidence to back up why I'm so fucking frustrated, and why I have sleepless nights, and why
Yeah,
I
but you're
fear
not-
when
you're not the
cops are
only
fucking
one.
behind me, and why I fear like there's been times that I've been fucking assaulted by police, and I've never done a fucking thing wrong, B.
Oh, shit.
Never did a thing wrong, B. You could be white, black, Hispanic. It doesn't fucking matter. It's an institution. That shit is built on that.
Yeah, but what
Coke
Coke is saying is he has his views, right, and he has his little evidence or whatever to back it up. But then you're gonna tell him how he feels and what's in his
No,
mind
I'm
that
not
might not
telling
be
him how
true.
he feels. I'm just telling him what I'm taking away from his work. I'm not telling
So
him how he
just
feels. I don't
because
know
of
how he
just
feels. I'm
because
just
of
going on what
my
he's saying.
viewpoint differs from yours, which I understand. We have varying viewpoints, but just because I have my stance and I don't support the rioting and looting and the
Yeah, that's
destruction of
fine.
communities does not mean I do not understand the quote unquote black experience. I grew up
The
in East New York,
anger,
Brooklyn for 16 years.
the frustration,
I understand the frustration, but
the
there's always a way
fear.
that you have to handle your things. I don't fear anybody. That's the
Like
first
you
thing.
can't police anybody. No, you
I
can't
don't fear
police
anybody.
anybody. Like
That's the first thing. Two, I don't have to police anybody. And
yes, yes.
I'm not trying to police anybody either. But I'm saying is there's a right way and a wrong way on how to handle things. And clearly
My man talking about fucking post-apocalyptic world
Hold on, let
we're
me.
seeing
without police.
is the right thing being done with people doing peaceful protests and they're informing their communities on the reality of the situation at hand right now. And there are other people who are committing crimes. They're destroying communities. They're destroying businesses. They're destroying apartment complexes and homes and property owned by people
There are
that are
multiple
affecting
layers.
everyday's lives, and
There are multiple
there's
layers
repercussions
to
for your
a
actions.
revolution.
And if you're
There-
not ready to handle the repercussions of those actions, then don't even do it at all. Because the one thing I don't like to see is I don't like to go on social media and just go on Twitter and try to see what's going on, and then out of nowhere there's a guy dead.
Yeah. I already
For
seen
no reason.
I already seen 5 like
And
bodies and then like 4 other people knocked the fuck
it's
out.
It's not worth you losing your life because you wanted to steal an iPad
So
out of
it's
Target. It's not
so
worth.
it's
It's not
not
worth you
worth-
still. It's not worth you losing your life over that, man. It's not worth it.
Hey yo, suck my motherfucking dick, B. Like I
Hold
don't
on,
know
yo.
who you
Ho.
talking to,
Oh,
but
shit.
Hold on. Who you talking to?
like
Oh shit! Damn.
Who you talking to?
it's. So how do you think that makes these?
Oh, let me handle the super chat. We need a break.
Super
Hold on,
chat.
who you
Super
talking
chat. Super
to?
chat.
Yo,
Super
Seek
chat.
Yahweh says, too
If
bad
you
they
see a
didn't.
cop, let's see, kneeling on, like you see, this shit like 4 or 5 cops kneeling on.
I don't think he can hear us.
And
He can't hear us, yo.
I can't breathe.
Oh, he's
cop
talking
Yeah,
about
he's
the dude in the
yeah, that
chat.
won't work here.
All right. Seek Yahweh
Somebody-
says,
My man Persona.
all
What
right.
does that
Yeah.
make you feel? Like how does that? How does
Seek
that
Yahweh
make-
says-
Whoa, how does that
chill.
make you feel?
Seek Yahweh says, too bad they didn't vote to bankrupt Black Wall Street instead of blowing it to smithereens for $5.
Right.
I want to know
Facts.
how
Let's
that
talk
makes
about
you
it.
feel, because it
And then-
where I had to-
Yo, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear
Can
us?
you-
Coy?
yeah, now
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay,
That-
okay,
Okay,
Alright.
because you couldn't hear us. Hey, who were you talking to when you said that?
What?
I
the
think he's
stuff
talking
I
to
did-
Persona.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever the clown is in the chat, like the motherfucker who said that I need to shut up, he could suck all dick. Like that's just that's on.
Oh man, that's my guy, Persona. We can invite
Yeah,
him.
that's
He
Persona,
cool
man.
people.
Chill.
We can invite
Hey,
him
man,
so
it
he
is
can
what
get
it
his
is.
views off.
Oh, man. But, yeah, it's, yeah, the only thing is like, I know, like, I just, like I said, I have a post, and I know Jack Moo feels a certain way, because I see him in the chat and whatnot.
I fuck with Jack Move 100%.
A lot.
Jack Move 100.
I don't have the most, obviously the popular opinion, but like, the thing about our community now is like, I'm becoming like less, like, I feel like I have to be like less vocal and steer away from like my honestly, my opinion. Because and the thing is, because like I said, when we opened the show with it, I was like, yeah, I don't like how the fact that I can't speak against the riots, because if I speak against the riot, everybody be like, oh, you're a coon, or you speak more about the riots than the reason for it. And the thing is that I don't like about people, they'll take the snapshot, right? Here's the thing. We've been dealing with the riots for 9 days. The riots and the protests, the peaceful protests, and then the riots and the arsons and everything for about 9 days straight, right? I understand George Floyd, he's not dying 9 days consecutive. He's not coming back to life and just dying again the same way each day. So of course the every day there's something new that occurs. Somebody new dies, whether it be an innocent person or something like that. Another building is burned. Another cops are doing something fucked up to somebody. Something new happens in reflection, so it just makes you want to stop.
You shouldn't feel like you shouldn't feel like that, Smooth. Like you can't.
Well, I can't because every time I speak,
like you shouldn't feel like that.
But the thing is, every time I speak,
it's just like
I get met with this energy. I get met with it, and yeah. And I'm not talking about you, Corey, at all. This is just the energy I get on Twitter. It's like I would say something, and then it's like, how can you, like, you're not black, da 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 da, or how can you say this, right? I'm like, well, all right, it's give them a link. But the thing is, where were people when I was sitting there talking hella shit in 2018 and 2016 with all these other murders and the energy I was dispersing, and because it was fresh. So people, if we're on day 9 and day 10 of buildings getting burned down, other people getting shot in the name of protests and stuff like that.
Yeah, my bad, Smooth. Like I was saying that you didn't, like, you shouldn't have to feel that way.
Yeah,
you know
no,
like you're like you should be able to speak how.
Put the link in the chat, man. I don't know how to bring it up.
Like it shouldn't. Like y'all should be able to take whatever stance you want to take. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I have no bad blood towards any of y'all. Do I feel some of the shit is just kind of like lost on it? Sure. Like, all right, but like, I mean, it's y'all perception on it. We all have different perceptions on it. Like we all.
Let me take care of these super chats. My bad. Ashton Lucas says, I understand the anger, but it's distracting when y'all talk over each other. I think points can get lost that way. Good conversation though. Yeah, I understand. We got to get that under control for real. Shout out to Ashton Lucas.
Yeah, that's true.
Keontae Harris says, y'all take note how Chris always has to say but or have a rebuttal. He's trying to highlight something.
I don't know what he means by that, because everybody in here is saying but and has a rebuttal to when somebody disagrees with one another. So that doesn't make sense to just call me out on it when every single person in this podcast has a but and a rebuttal. So that's, you know what I mean? Just because you don't agree with what I said doesn't mean that I'm the only one doing it. You know what I mean? You got to use your brain a little bit, my guy.
All right, I got one thing to say. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on something that actually Dope Boy and Smooth said, where they said that it's a right way of doing things. Like you really can't say it's a right or wrong way of doing it, because if you don't know the right way, then you know what I mean. Like the right way to certain people is totally different than yours. Like in the further that, like they actually moved the charges to what, 2nd degree murder. So I mean it's actually. Yeah, so at this point, they like, oh, well, it's working. So, you know, what would you think if you was in that state? I mean, like, come on, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, to give context to what I said, when I'm referring to the right way to handle something or the wrong way to handle something, is in reference to how people reacted to a situation. So if something were to happen to me, right, personally, right, or something was to happen to somebody else that I knew, that I was close to, right. There's 2 ways I can handle it. I can either react negatively towards that person and lash out, or try to resolve a conflict that might be going on, right? Or try to address it at its root. So even if there's a right way or a wrong way, there's always an alternative. That's why I said there isn't, like, peaceful protesting and violence aren't the only 2 options that you have to react to this particular situation. And there's other routes that you can take that people never explored before. And that's my thing.
Right.
There's always the thing about human beings and about our society is that there's so many different varying ideas that come into coming. How do I say this? There's so many different people and so many different ideas that can be sparked by the collaborative process of trying to solve an issue, right? And that's what I implore people to do, is to get your community leaders, voice your concerns with them, and then have your community leaders come out and represent you and come to the table with whoever is oppressing you, or whatever issues you might have with the police or your local government or the federal government, and voice those concerns and try to come to a solution together. That's what I'm saying, instead of just trying to get violent all the time.
Well,
because yes, even though people can point to history, we can always set a new precedent by doing things differently.
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's good? What's good, Persona?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Uh,
So what's your take on
thanks for
that?
having me. So with the Koi dude, the reason why I said what I said is because I don't know the other dude that was talking to him, but he kept telling him he does like he kept talking over him and saying he don't know what he's going through and all this other stuff, like, or he doesn't know, and like all that other stuff. My thing is, in order for and this is for everything when it comes to just black people, white people, race relations, whatever. In order for us to have the proper conversation, right? Um, everybody has to be able to speak, and everybody else has to be able to listen, because that's the only way that everybody's point gets across. That's the only way that everybody understands how
Facts.
everybody feels, and that's how you can progress and move forward and begin to fix or heal things depending on what the conversation is. Right now, we're in very tough times, right?
Right.
Um, you know, with George Floyd dying, it's definitely something that has weighed very heavy on my heart. Just because I'm a black dude, I'm 6 foot, I'm a big guy. The cops can see. I walk out my crib every day. The cops see me as a threat or whatever. I could die.
You stick out.
One false move or
You're an
whatever.
ultimate threat with
But
that size.
I think what people like in terms of the protests, I agree with the protests. I don't agree with all the looting, right?
Mhm.
But I also don't feel sorry for the companies because these are $1 billion companies. So they got insurance or whatever. They're gonna recoup that. For the mom and pops
Facts.
that don't, it's definitely it definitely may hurt a little bit more. But even them too, they don't own that. The banks do.
Right.
So
Yeah, shit, they
realistically,
don't. Like my bad. I won't mean
no,
to
it's fine.
interrupt you.
It's
So go
fine.
ahead and blaze, bro. Go ahead and blaze.
But one thing that I think everyone has to understand is, you know, there are white people that are on our side, right? And although every white person may not necessarily understand 100% how we might have grown up, I think the ones that are on our side genuinely, because it's some people that's only on our side for the press or to look good in the
Yeah.
spotlight.
Of course.
I'm talking about the genuine ones, the ones that
Mhm.
genuinely care and the ones that genuinely want to see change. I think although they may not, oh, you ain't grow up in the projects or you ain't grow up having ERAM, whatever the case may be, it's not a contest, right? The
No, it's
point
not.
is that they're on our side and they want to see the same change that we want to see. And they're
Like
trying to fight for the same changes that we want to see. So
persona.
when him getting, yeah, what's up?
Something. All right. I'm gonna throw something to you. So like you said, like we have to be able to have this civil discourse, the discourse and everything, and to be able to talk, and like the people got to be willing to listen and shit like that. But what if they're not? What if it's just like that willing, full, ignorant type shit, where it's just like there has to be a level of empathy for people to really experience to a certain extent the black experience, what we've been telling them about for years
But
and
that's the thing,
years
though,
and
Coy.
decades and
The thing,
decades. It's
the,
just like
the thing about that is nobody else outside of black people can truly
exactly.
grasp that black experience. I agree with you there. And I definitely do feel that, that thing is something that truly is reserved for black people. But at the same time, if there are white people or people outside of black people that are willing to listen and willing to be the front runner, because let's be real here, white privilege is definitely a thing, and realistically white
Exactly.
people, especially the ones that are on our side, they would have to be the ones to kind of be
They have
at
to
the
acknowledge that
front.
part.
Well, yes, they would
They
have to
have
be
to
at the front
acknowledge
and be the ones
that
to,
aspect of themselves. And it's just
yeah.
like a lot of them openly deny it. My bad.
Well, I think because to us it's obvious, but to them it's subliminal. They don't see it as they do because they look at it as something that's normal. Just like, for me, for example, I grew up in the hood when I was young. Yeah, there was crime. Yeah, there was, gang members, weed man on the corner, people on the corner, stuff like that. But when I was walking back to and from school every day, that was normal. I didn't see that as something that was out of the ordinary because that was my life growing up. but I can't expect, my friend that's coming from a gated community coming to the hood and looking at that and say, bro, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? There's no, where I used to live, I used to think it was the safest place in the world. Even though it wasn't, I used to think so just because of how it was.
Yeah,
that's just how it was. Like I could walk to the deli at 12 at night, and it's a bunch of people outside, but I still feel safe because it's my hood. Like I'm where I feel safe. But to a white person or someone that isn't used to growing up in that environment, being in that environment, they may not feel the same way. Now, that does not mean that they don't still agree that there is systematic oppression, that there's systemic racism, that there
goes both ways. But that goes both ways. Like how you said, like you growing up in that situation, like people gotta understand also the history of how that situation became. That's another deeper hole that I can.
That's another topic, man.
Down into exactly. So, but it's just like.
But those things fall into all those things fall under systemic oppression and systematic racism, because again, there were, back in the 50s and 60s, there was redlining that kept black people in specific areas. There were, even soldiers that fought in World War I, World War II, when they came back, there was still segregation. They weren't treated with respect, and even though for a lot of white people today, that was their ancestors or the generation before, I think the white people that are on our side, they are they do, and again, the ones that are genuine, they care. You don't want to push them away, but you do want to also make sure that everyone hears and understands. Look, this is how us as black people feel. That's what needs to get across here, right? Because when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling and things like that, it was bad, and this was
like
wrong.
They
blah blah blah.
him for that shit.
Yeah, they did, and now the NFL is
crucified him for that.
But he was at work. Like let's just like.
But Tim Tebow was kneeling and praying at work too, and he was praised for it. So if you think about it, I mean, so.
Yeah, shit. If I'm at work, it don't matter where I'm at. Like it's just like, all right, the persona. I respect everything you fucking said. It made sense. Like you had points. Like shit, where I was like, my aggression was just like, I guess it was just like, my frustration. So
see, that's the thing. Though, I don't want you to feel like it's not okay to be frustrated, because I'm frustrated too.
No.
I'm frustrated at everything that's going on around us. COVID, quarantine, our people keep dying and stuff like that. It's okay to feel frustrated, and it's okay to voice that frustration. But sometimes taking it to that next level of frustrating can push people away.
Yep.
So sometimes, and I'm not saying. Listen, I'm saying all I'm saying is you're free to feel how you feel. You feel me? Because again, I had to learn this growing up as well.
That's what I was
like. Sometimes going at it in that way isn't as well received by everyone. So sometimes you do have to go at it in a different way. Just like with the protests. Some people are saying when we protest peacefully, you guys didn't listen. So this is why we have the riots now, and everyone's angry, which is understandable. Yeah, very understandable. Yeah, that's very understandable. But you're still going to have that.
Like it, but you understand it.
Yes, of course.
All that I'm saying. Like, you may not like that shit is being damaged, and it's just like with my job that I used to have at FedEx. Like FedEx was like, if somebody comes in here and tries to steal or like shoot up the joint, I told my manager, hey, look, B, somebody come up in here joint, start wrecking and taking shit, I'm bouncing out the back. Like, I'm not about to take no bullets for no corporations. Yeah, you paying me and shit, but I'm not about to do that. Like, it's not worth my life. You get what I'm saying? And it's
can I address persona really quick? Because what you said about the way you handle yourself, that's been my point this entire time. It's you have to conduct yourself and operate with a certain level of decorum. Yes, there's lots of people that feel frustrated. I feel very frustrated as well. But I'm not going to allow my frustration to bleed over and get violent and destroy my own community, because there's repercussions for your actions. And I don't like when I go on social media and I see these people doing these things and get killed for it, because they're not supposed to be getting killed for those things. It's not worth losing your life. It's not worth you losing your life trying to steal that MacBook. It's not worth your life.
Well, you also have to look at
hold on, real quick. Hold on. Bless Red in the comments, he wanted me to tell y'all, it's like, if we can first at least agree that there is systemic racism and white privilege that exists, we can move forward. There are people that still think that it doesn't exist, that it denies that. Oh, we know it. There's definitely freaking
Absolutely.
white privilege.
All agree
Hold
on
on, hold
that.
on, hold on. Let me finish. We know that there's white privilege in this country, right? In other countries as well, and we know that there is, these people in charge, right? These political power leaders in charge that are super racist and stuff like
Yep.
that. Nobody here is gonna deny. Nobody in this podcast. I mean, everybody in this podcast is black except me, right? I'm Puerto Rican. I'm a Hispanic. You know what I mean? So everybody in here, we know what this shit is about. You know what I mean? So nobody in here, I don't think anybody in here is denying that.
Yeah, you'll never catch
You know
me
what I mean?
denying no
So,
shit like that.
but yeah, there are people who would deny that, who would deny,
Yeah.
there's privilege and stuff like that. And when we say there's like white privilege, we don't mean that white people don't go through shit too, right? We don't mean that there's not white people in poverty or who go through like depression or anything like that, right? We just acknowledge that there's a way that white people are perceived and treated when it comes to police and government.
Yep.
Then there are people of color. You know what I mean? So
Whoa.
Like there are
yeah, yeah. We don't go by. No, but even no, it's true. Like, cause even the way that white people are treated, like, you know what I mean. Even black people treat white people better than they treat black people in cases. You know what I mean? It happens.
It's
Can you hear me?
When they're, yeah.
It happened. It's true. I don't know why it's like that. I mean, it exists, and people try to call me obviously like cool and stuff, but that's something you'll never see me turn out. Like, I know I've been discriminated against. I mean, who has it? I've witnessed racism. There's there's areas, honestly, I won't go through this. There's supermarkets I won't go to because I don't feel like dealing either seeing the people or feel like I'm being eyeballed a certain way or anything like that. So nah, man, that's absolutely true. You know what I mean? But there's black people are treated like in the like so wrongly, like whether it be international or here in the States by many different races. Now, obviously, we deal with the whole black white thing, but think about like what the Asians are doing to people in like, you know what I mean? It's like that shit's kind of crazy too. It's not getting no shine, but it's fucking crazy. But
no, it gets like we definitely like when you're ingrained in the black shit community, like, like there are like K-pop artists and shit like that, like who obviously there are so many other regions of the world that bite off of black people but who don't fuck with black people. You get what I'm saying? Like they fuck with everything that we produce.
What do we call them? What do we call them?
What do you mean?
Culture vultures.
Culture vultures. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Culture vultures.
Like I'm just saying, like they don't get a pass either. But it's just like when it comes to like white people in their woes compared to just kind of like balancing that out with like black people's woes, it's not on their skin that they're in these positions. You get what I'm saying? Like that's not the case, and that's what we're trying to explain to people who have for years just completely disregarded and gaslit us for who knows how fucking long. It's just like you can't continue to gaslight a people and tell them that, oh nah, shit, it isn't this. Oh nah, shit, you deserve this. There's some reason you deserve this.
Yeah, they use us. We're used a lot.
Yeah, like you can't keep doing that to people and not expect them to have some type of like anger towards you. And the lady said that like the thing about it is that they fear that people want revenge. That black people want revenge. No, we just wanted to be treated like our lives fucking matter. Like there are so many cases that I could bring up to you that could just like fucking. This is like you see comparable cases of how white murderers and all this types of shit are treated compared to how black people are treated for some of the most minuscule fucking shit offenses, and you're just like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, shit, if a white person says he deserved it, then he must have obviously deserved it. Like, it's just like that's the type of shit that you have to deal with in yourself as a black person, that mental warfare. Like, you're dealing with, damn, is my skin really the issue? Like, do I really deserve to be hit 10 times harder just because I'm darker than this person? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking crazy.
I think initially, like if I was a police and you got a white police, you got a black police, right? Of course, if I see if I was a black police and I was approaching like a white suspect or whatever, something like that, I'm probably gonna be a lot more. I'm gonna approach him different because we are different, and you understand what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So I think that like kind of like I don't really see I can understand why most of the time.
No, it's like the equality of it.
Yeah.
Like you should
I have a
be
question for you
approaching-
guys though. So
Oh, yeah,
based
go
based
ahead.
on the conversation that we've had and our current social and political situation right now as it stands today, and I want to see what people say in the chat as well. Based on everything that's going on, where do you guys believe we go from here into the rest of 2020?
Shit, concentration camps.
Like you,
That was
like this
The way that things going, you ready? Got like.
to say that. But do you feel that like it's like that's like? Do you feel that's appropriate? Like
Where do you see?
Betting on the context.
Well,
of
answer the
why
question though,
things
Corey.
are the way they are.
Answer the question. I'm curious. What you got to do? What's your answer?
Where do I see it going?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. All I can say is that I could hope that it.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
At least we can
like,
give-
I want to speak, like I want to speak to y'all sensibilities. Like I want
Hold
to should be like, hey yo.
Well, we trying to see what everybody think about this though. So
Yeah, now
that's what
I want
we're
people
saying.
I want
We
people in
want
the chat to
everybody
chime
to
in.
answer the question.
Everybody here, like, where do you see, based on everything that's going on right now, where do you see us going as a society into the rest of 2020? Because there's a lot of different issues. We have systematic oppression being tackled. We also have a pandemic that's going on as well.
Yeah, everybody says
So
we
many,
forgot
there's so
about.
many layers, and
Well, the
that's why I
issue-
tried to address earlier in my earlier monologue. There's so many different issues piled up on top of each other that heading into the rest of the year is going to be very challenging.
I
But
think
can we reach a common ground as a society?
Well, I think
I could
think
fucking
there's
hope.
gonna be.
What?
It's kind of a tough question to answer because
It is.
you're right. There is, we're still dealing with COVID, which is still something that's very prevalent within the United States.
Hmm.
Then we're also, I think what people have to understand too is, on top of COVID, there's 50 plus million people, Americans, that are filing for unemployment. So they don't have jobs, So a lot of people are wondering, well, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to take care of my kid? How am I do this and do that?
Well, one
Then
little
you
detail
have-
I missed out, and it's an election year.
Yes, it is. Then you have a president that's saying some of the wildest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like,
No,
He always says
It's
wild
ridiculous.
shit, so that's regular.
then we have the killing of George Floyd, which again, that's something that's still, as much as everything else is going on, that's still something that needs to be very high on the list, because that's still something that is a big problem within our country. And I'm only speaking about America right now.
Yeah.
Police brutality is something that has plagued America for so many, not just years, but decades. And, going back to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and stuff like that, I tend to be kind of in the middle ground, where part of me is Martin Luther King and his teachings, and then part of me is Malcolm X. I'm like a radical, and I'm like, yo, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it's I think from here, it's crazy because it's actually quite amazing. You would think we would actually be more divided, but I actually think this will bring us more together, a little more together to a degree. Because if you look, not just in America, but around the world,
Question for you, Persona.
everyone's protesting.
I got a question for Persona, real quick.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right. It's been a while since we talked.
Man.
How you doing though?
I'm good, man. I'm man. Shout out to you, man. I've been watching your challenge streams, and I've been seeing a lot of the craziness that you've been dealing with. You a real one, bro.
Man, thanks, man. But shout out to Persona, man. My question to you is, because it's been years, and this has been going on for a while, right? It is an election year. Do you think that finally, for the first time, that somebody will police brutality or legislating, the police and stuff like that will be a topic of the elections, because even though we had all this shit happen in the past, nobody actually really done anything about it. Like after the protest, like, I mean, obviously there was a moment Obama had where we all thought he was going to sign something into legislation, but he really didn't. It was something that benefited the cops. So now that we have this big outcry and now it's having larger repercussions in years past, do you think someone tries to win an election or win a seat or something based off something what they can propose of changing about how black people or how people are policed in general? Do you think this will be an actual thing somebody run off of, because nobody done it in the past?
The thing is this, and I think this is what people have to understand, right? Bernie Sanders was that candidate. He was talking a lot about college and healthcare for all and all this stuff, but he was really trying to do a lot of change. I think a lot of people, when it comes to voting, they forget that you also have to vote for your assembly person, for your, there's a ton of other votes that take place outside of the presidential election.
Yes,
and a lot of
That's
people,
what I was talking about earlier. Yeah.
a lot of people forget that, or a lot of people, part of the problem is a lot of people don't follow through with voting, period. And then you have another subset of people, a lot of black people think, oh, nothing's going to change in this country anyway, so why am I voting? Right? So that's one less vote from someone that could potentially incite change within, again, because there's levels to this. As much as we protesting and things like this, you also have to make sure that you're electing the right people into those higher seats of power that also hold the same ideologies that you do, so that when it's time to really stand in front of everybody, they're like, look, this is what it is, this is what it isn't. And when someone's trying to do wrong by the people, they can stand up and say, no, that's definitely not something that my people should be experiencing. So
Persona.
yeah,
we have a super chat from Ashen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Ashen.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a couple of super
let me
chats.
read
Go
those.
ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead.
go read those.
The Ashton Lucas says, we can't reach a common ground as a society until people develop empathy for those who are different from them. So, like, that's not happening, in my opinion. Shout out to Ashton Luca. Really good take.
100%
see,
agree.
but that's
100% agree.
I agree with Ash and Luca a lot. That's definitely something that
But it's like we.
And then let me get this other super chat from Gaming Addict, because his was right after. And Gaming Addict $2 says, we got to start being more active in the polls.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's
Dude, it's
definitely,
like-
again, that's something that it's very important. Like, as much as people may some people may say, oh, voting doesn't do anything. Voting is very important. Not only that, but it's your constitutional right. Like, you're an American.
Yeah,
like, that's
but
like the most American that it gets. You
But
feel me?
have they?
Hold on.
But have they been proven wrong? Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, because I didn't realize there was like some from earlier, like Seek Yahweh. He's like, can I join the podcast right quick? Let me try to get him a link, or if Chris, you can help me with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Keontae
Josh,
Harris says, y'all take.
Just send a link in the chat.
We already read that. And I'll send. Josh T says, people don't educate themselves and be the first one to complain when shit hits the fan.
I'm gonna send
And
you
it's
the
just
link.
like,
Well,
and that's
Yeah,
true,
that's true.
because the thing
Chris.
is that
Hold on.
with a lot
What
of
happened?
these things and these historical moments and all of this shit like that, is just like these people want people to educate them on something that they could educate themselves on, and that empathetic muscle has to be flexed. So like they have to sit down and understand where this shit went wrong and why it went wrong and how the system benefits from it being wrong. Like, are these people incorrect when they say, hey yo, this system hasn't worked? Like, let's say hypothetically they voted like a lot, and then like they just kept seeing nothing change. Like, when to the point is this, like there's a certain amount of time that you'll get bullied and until like you just strike back after a while, like you tired of getting
see, but
fucked
that's
with.
the thing. You have
So-
to. I get what you're saying, but you also, especially us as black people. Again, this is very important to us as black people. You're gonna get knocked down. You're not gonna get the best candidate all the time, but you still have to continually go out and vote for the person that you feel is going to do right by you every
Mhm.
time there's a time to vote. Because if you say, oh, you know, I voted for this candidate, they didn't do nothing, whatever, I'm not going to vote anymore, and you keep getting this one that's messing up, this one that's
Yeah, sure, but
messing up,
it's not a
things getting
one-time
worse,
event,
money's not
though.
getting
Like
spent right, this and this.
It's not a one-time event.
You're
And
right. It's not a one-time event. It's always going. It's going to happen continually. But you still have to. You
And we
still
know
have
how
to go
like
out and vote.
financial, like paper, moolah, the capital that everybody's so fucking worried about. Like they know that this shit sways and moves laws and shit. Like they know this. Like you should know this. Like you know this. Like these people, they get funding to go on these campaigns. Like they get funded. Like they ask for donations and all of this shit. But then some get those big lump sums to make things, to make and shake and move things in their respected areas and stuff.
I get that.
So like we know that this happens. So how do you feel as a voter that like your voice is being heard exactly? Shit, if you're voting for this and then he gets a lump sum from this corporation or whatever to make this happen, and that shit just completely screws you the fuck over, how do you feel personally?
Before you answer that question, let me get this super chat from Delilah HD. Shout out to you, Delilah. She says we have to support each other. And that is also true. Shout out to Delilah. Thanks for supporting this podcast and supporting me with that tweet. Also, super chat.
Shout out to all the people.
Also, I just want to make this quick point right quick, and then I'll let you guys continue right quick. Because there's a lot of people has been coming out, I stand and giving out shout outs to black content creators and whether it be video game communities or other YouTubers and stuff like they weren't doing it before, but now they feel obviously the need to do it now. And I mean, I appreciate it, but like I don't want to ride off like, oh, all right, now they finally understand. Can we have some followers or something like that? I mean, some of the most obviously underrated talent on YouTube is our black people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of us on YouTube, on Twitch and stuff like that, and we don't get the same viewership. We don't get the same, like donations or following that everybody. We don't get the same push. And Persona, I'm pretty sure you can speak for that. It takes us a lot longer, we have to come in on something hot, like trying to catch that fire. But that's something that obviously we need to get up on, and the only way we can get there is honestly by like support and like pretty much supporting each other instead of like eating each other or holding each other back, like Krabs, instead of like always being against each other. We do have to. That's something we got to do better. And if people really, really want to support us, obviously you can support us on different magnitudes. Black people need love on like YouTube. So if you a big dude, obviously in these YouTube streets or Twitch,
GWG,
go there and push up those you watch. You know what I mean? Put them on a pedestal, and so they can get that exposure. But that's all I gotta say about that. Shout out to
what it is too though with that, like something.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'll stop talking completely. Just to talk on the NRA,
wait, Corey, since you're speaking on NRA, read Bless Red's chat.
Yeah, shit. He said that the NRA supports everybody or like backs everybody and shit like that. So I was just
said like legislation for guns, NRA backs everyone.
Yeah, but it's like that. That's not like that's to an extent, because like there was a guy like who had like Chris did a post that said to get your shit concealed and carry and all of that, and had the papers on you and all of that, and like there have been black people, multiple. Maybe not. So many stories have been highlighted, but some have been highlighted. The dude had his concealed and carried on him in his papers, and they murked him, shot him like fucking 6 or 8 times. Like now, flip it to this. Like y'all remember that government building, right? Where all them white folks ran up on the jump with the years, and they was ready to pop off, right? Now flip that script to some black people running up there on a government. It doesn't matter. He still had his papers. Yeah, exactly. The NRA was quiet, but it's just like like you saw that. Now flip that to like a bunch of people with automatic weapons and all of that shit running up on this government building. Do you think in any way those cops would have been as so, hey yo, we about to touch and hug and push these people back and all of that shit? Do you really think they would have dealt with those black people in the same way? No.
Of
There's
course
been
not.
white people who walked around with a fucking bazooka on his back like it's Call of Duty. Like, it's just like, do you think that black people can walk around with that type of heat on them and be seen as like, oh, he's just a upstanding citizen? Like, this shit is it's fine. Like, it's just like, that shit's crazy.
Yo,
Like,
I
that
want
never
to
happened
touch
with
on
black
I want to touch on something that Smooth said
can y'all hear
because
me?
I think
I'm
this
sorry.
is
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think this is very important.
Yeah, what's up? No, I just wanted to get in a few things. I know y'all been talking about it for a minute.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
My
I don't
bad,
know if you
family.
can
All right,
hear
let's
Y'all can-
let Persona finish his. He
Yeah.
wanted to address what Smooth just said.
Yeah, because I mean I do agree. I think more black people do need to support black content creators. But I think one thing that we forget is, and this is something that I say about my channel, I don't want to sympathy sub because I'm black.
True.
Subscribe to me because I'm black. No, I don't want that. I want you to look at my content and say, yo, this dude is dope and he's black. Let me sub. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't want the black. I don't want me being black that to be what leads to you subbing. I want my content to speak for me. You feel me? So if you do come to the channel and you see my content and you sub, cool. I want the content to lead. But I do agree that us as black, we do need to support each other more. But also support what you like. You feel me?
Yeah, not
Don't feel like you're obligated to do
right.
this because it's black owned or it's black. No. I want you to, because there's some, let's be honest, there's some black content creators that's trash. You know, that's not, that's not me trying to put you down. That just means, look, this is constructive criticism. This is what I feel you need to work on. Honestly, the problem with us as black people, man, I love my people, but we can't take criticism because it even took me a while to not look at criticism as a threat. I had to grow out of that. It took some time for me to grow. So, when it comes to that, I want my content to, if you watch my content and it's good, subscribe. Then be like, oh, he's black. That's cool. I don't want you to, don't feel obligated, and no one here should feel obligated to do that. Yes, look for more black content creators. Check their stuff out. If you like it, definitely sub. If you don't, that's okay. That doesn't make you any less black. Yeah. That doesn't mean that you don't hate
to sub to
your
everybody.
people.
Like,
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I want to say, because too many times people get caught up in support black content creators. I say my saying is support black content creators if the content's good. You feel me?
And that's what I did. Remember when I tagged you guys? Well, I tagged like Kid Smooth. I think I tagged Persona or whatever. And what I specifically said in that post is like, these are black content creators / streamers that I rock with. Right? Then I tagged everybody and whatever. I didn't tell anybody, hey, go sub to these guys or anything like that. No. If you want to check them out and subscribe to them. Right? I didn't tell anybody to subscribe to you guys. I didn't tell anybody to follow you guys. Yeah. I just put it out there and said, these are the people that I rock with.
But that's how I found Smooth. So, like, that's how I found Smooth, was just from, like, Weapon Wheel podcast, him raging. That's how I found Smooth. And I was like, all right, this guy's funny, so I'll fuck with him. Like, it was just good entertainment.
All right, guys, I want to read this super chat from Bless Red. We're going to let Rossetti speak, and then we're going to at least touch on, like, the PlayStation 3, because it's a little bit later. I know a lot of people want to join in, but the more people we let in, it's going to be forever before we get out of here. And I just got a brand new bed I want to jump on for the first time, so, you know.
Play some footsies in that joint.
Yeah, shout out to Bless Red. He says, after the Sandy Hook shooting, I lost hope for legislation. Hey.
Oh man.
But Rossetti, what's up, man?
Yeah, it's crazy. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes, we can hear you loud and clear, bro.
Yeah, I just want to speak on a few things. I mean, with any time where stuff like this is going on in the world or in America, there's a lot of different opinions, especially us being black men on this panel. Listening to y'all, was a lot of stuff I agree with, a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. But I mean, I think that now is the time not to debate. You know what I'm saying? Time to come together Really realize that we all got different opinions. Now with the looting, I'm over here in Illinois, Chicago, South Suburb. It's fucked up over here.
Mm.
But what happened was, of course, y'all probably seen they looting downtown, destroyed everything, right? Then the city people come out here looking for food and everything else. People all on social media. My friends, people I went to school with, they can't get medicine because people burn down Walgreens. People burn down CVS. Why?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dumb shit I don't agree with. And it's
Mhm.
like I got a cousin. He agreed with them, but burning down the buildings and stuff while we don't own anything anyway. But I'm like, dude, like I understand something bad happened, but black people a lot of time will react without thinking. You know what I'm saying? This government not stupid. They know we gonna react without thinking. We burn up our own neighborhoods, even though it ain't just black people out there burning shit up. They helping us burn down places where we stay, where we shop. And I'm like, well, there's people, grandmas that rely on medicine,
Yep.
CVS's. Now y'all burn these places
Facts.
up. Where the fuck you gonna get food from?
Where you gonna get your food at? Like,
Where are you
and
gonna
my,
get
my
food
thing
from?
is, and my thing to get onto your point, because this is what I've been talking about all podcasts, is that there's repercussions for your actions, and there's a
Right.
certain way that you have to handle yourself as well. You have to evaluate the landscape, and then see what you can do instead of just being reactionary. And
And don't
onto the greater point that you're making is that and you destroying your own community, you're screwing yourself up in the back end because the local governments are going to get more money out of you by raising your taxes to repair your
and
community as well, and they're going to keep it
and
the
them
same
and them
way.
same and check it out. And when them same stores open, like in downtown Chicago, and they open and raise their prices, black people gonna be the first people in there spending all that hella money to get that shit.
Hmm.
And on
No,
top
this
of that,
like there's a thing that you're missing here with this, and it goes and it flows into gentrification, just like with DC. Like you have these people, like an influx of people, and it's happened in lower in New York, and it's happened in Chicago, and it's happened in fucking I forgot another location. It's where like these people they come in here, and they fucking raise up the prices just by them being there in these lower end
yep.
black communities, and so then that pushes these families out because they're not making enough money and they can't make it. So like I mean there is a double-edged sword to doing it, but it's just like they're going to find a way. Just like I brought up earlier, like these people, they are destroying these things, and maybe it's not the best way. Who knows? Like, but I'm not here to police your frustrations. I'm not going to tell you that your feelings are not justified in your reaction. Like I can't do that. So it's just like these people, they're gonna find a way. Just like that man store who was fucked up. He found a way through the community. Maybe everybody who donated to his store to get repaired, maybe they weren't the people that fucked it up. Maybe they were some of the people who fucked up and they just felt bad about it. I don't know. But
And don't get me
he
wrong, it's
got
a
the
lot of. Oh, you go
huh?
ahead, my bad.
No, go ahead. My bad.
And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people out there legitimately protesting. But just
Yeah.
like how people say they're not all cops is bad cops, but not all of them. It's some people, not all protesters out there is bad. It's some people out there taking advantage. Just like
Hmm.
what's going on right here now over here in Sauk Little Village. You got these Latin Kings using the
Mm-hmm.
facade of them protecting their neighborhood, but they're attacking, they pulling black people out of their cars and
Mm-hmm.
and beating their ass. Pregnant women.
Yeah, I
A
seen
No,
that.
but
kid,
I've
13-year
seen
old kid, they getting
Yeah,
I've
that's
killed.
seen that
crazy.
shit before. I've seen
Yeah.
that before where it was um used to be shit in a hardcore scene with all black people. Black alternatives are not representative. They're represented and appreciated properly. So it's just like you had the Hispanic or like Latino folks who felt they fit more of like that privilege part, like that white privilege part. So they'll come out their mouth and hit the nigger with the hard R and
Hmm?
then like
Yeah.
be ready to yeah. So like you be like, okay,
Scooby.
so that's how you feel, right? So like so I'm gonna have to meet you. So it's just like there are people who prescribe to that type of thought. So like I'm not surprised, and I mean maybe that's just like that Latin Kings. I don't know, that's like gang activity. Uh, um,
Yeah. There's some gang shit in Chicago.
yeah, Fed. So it's like, yeah, because I've been to Chicago. Shit, I used to play shows out that bitch. So shit is like that shit. It's really fucked up that you use this point in time right now, you see how everybody is just at a fever pitch. They're very tense. They're very on edge. You use this time to progress that bullshit.
Right,
Like you
because
need to handle that
it's
after
been
this shit is done. Like after
the
this
la-
is
the
done, and then go ahead and do whatever. Like, but it's just like this ain't the time to be trying to handle petty squabbles and shit. Like this is something different.
Hey Rossetti, so I'm gonna ask you the same question that I ask everybody and on the panel in the chat. Based on everything that's been going on in our society, especially with COVID and a lot of social and political issues that we have going on currently, how do you see us moving forward into the rest of the year and into the near future?
I'm gonna put it like this, man. With the conclusion to this situation, I don't see. I
Well, it
don't
doesn't have
know
to be a
what.
conclusion, but like, how do you see us as a society moving forward with everything going on?
I think shit for the most part. I got hopefully change to come with what's going on, but as society moving forward, dealing with this, I guess the best way to put it, like Ashton Lucas said, it won't change until people develop empathy.
Hmm.
But I think this
Mm-hmm.
is a whole. I think the good thing I see in this is that it's not just black people out there protesting. White people are
Mm-hmm.
tired of this shit too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking tired of it because it's a lot of. You gotta figure white
Yeah.
people got black. They got legitimate black friends, mixed babies. They got back godmamas, goddaddies, mixed families all throughout this damn United States.
Yeah.
So these people is just as tired of this bullshit. Niggas just want to live.
Yeah.
People just
But
want to
it's just
live.
like
Just
that
mind your
shit. It
fucking
shouldn't even
business.
Yeah,
have
but
to.
the thing
It
you have
shouldn't
to
even have
understand is that
to
white
factor that.
people's feeling
Give
towards
that part
this
in of just
is
kind of like the mixed babies and shit like that. Like there was a lady online, like it was a white lady who was just like, yeah, should I love black men as like the phallic part. Like she loves black men and all of this shit and it's this on that, but I don't feel like I should have to speak up on black matters. Oh, my sister has black babies and you don't see her being Martin Luther King and shit like that. Like that's the type of shit that it kind of makes you wonder, do they really value you as a human being?
well.
That's
Not
what
only
black
that,
people
but
want, is just to be
you also have to
valued and
understand.
treated equally as a human being. Like I shouldn't
Now
have
you do get
to have
some. You
sexual
got some
relations
idiots.
with you. You shouldn't have to be attracted to me to find some type of value
I
in
don't think
me.
he can hear
You
us
get what I'm
again.
saying? Like you shouldn't have to do that. Like it's
Ah
Yeah, I
just
don't
man.
like
think
I
so
fuck
either.
So
with
can you
this.
hear
Like
us?
it's just like
Nope.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
Yo, he
know.
needs
He
to get
just
on
Like
Discord
I
on
fuck with a
PC, man.
bunch
I
of
don't know
yeah,
what
women
be
for
going on
real.
all the
with his
time.
joint.
Alright.
But then when it came down to it,
He's just gonna
You
keep
gonna have to
talking.
mute this
back
dude or something,
back
man.
us as like
Let
black
him
men
know,
would
man.
not help
Fix his
us at
mic.
all. But we would always go out
Correct.
of
He's
our way to
gone.
help them for that
Corey.
acceptance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Can you hear
Yeah.
us? All right. Okay.
Oh
Nah, he
man.
couldn't hear us.
All right.
Man,
Yo,
All
you
right,
can
man. We
hear us,
should
You
man?
need to
probably
hop
just
on
move on
PC,
from this,
bro.
man.
You need to
Nah,
get
my
on
All
bad,
Discord
right.
on
y'all.
PC.
Shout out to
We should
A1
move on,
Knowledge
man.
for the $2 super chat. He says, I would rather keep the conversation here. I think he was responding to me wanting to move on to the, another subject. I mean, we have a lot of things, I know there's a lot to talk about. I promise the other
Hey,
subjects won't
can I
be
just get
dumb
one more
long.
thing in? Then
Absolutely.
that's it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I just
bro.
want to say, like I said earlier, the soul situation is messed up. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell people how to react. But at some point, we got to take a step back and
Mm-hmm.
realize, like, damn, it's people out there taking advantage of the situation. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
like out here. You
Yeah.
had grandmas running out of stores with vacuum cleaners and comforters and
Yeah,
all
you
kind of
know.
shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I had a conversation with my cousins, like I understand you tired, you the burning down the buildings and all that. I understand that, but don't think you have to have food. Are these people black for the most part don't know how to grow their own food? All the looting and
Mm.
burning down buildings is fine, but when you sitting in that house and your damn stomach hit your spine, what you gonna do? Or you got to rely on the military to pass out food.
Nah, but they already
You're not
been
ready for
there.
that.
But they
People not
already
ready for
been
that.
there. Like, what was that guy's name from like Jon Stewart that he passed this fucking show on to? He put out that 18-minute video of like,
Trevor Noah.
yeah, like the contract that has just been like null and void right now, where it's like, and these people, they've been out of work for so fucking long, they probably ain't getting no money. Shit, there hasn't been any pause on like fucking rent or none of that shit, or like all of these payments are still piling up on you. and they haven't done anything to help out the people except like that little check that they did. So like these people, some of these motherfuckers is most likely genuine, and it's like, hey, look, I ain't got no money. Shit, I'm about to grab this, I'm about to grab that, and we about to roll out. All right, some people are better off in which they got, which like they got that expendable shit where it's just like, hey, yo, shit, I'm gonna just tuck this here and all of that. A lot of lower income families, they ain't got that luxury. Shit, a lot of people have luxuries that they don't, that they kind of blanket across everything. They like, well, yeah, I got this, I did this, so I assume that everybody else has this shit too. And it's just like that's not reality. That's not a lot of people's reality.
Yeah, and then you know what else is another reality? That breaking into those places and looting and
Oh
pillaging
man.
is illegal. That's another reality
So is
people have to deal
fucking
with as well.
murdering people, bro.
And
Like,
murdering is illegal too, and we all
are
agree
we
on
about to
that.
go back on this shit, dope?
Hey, okay. With
Nah,
the
hold on, hold
looting
on.
thing, with the
Go
looting
ahead,
thing,
bro.
look at it this way. And I heard Porter Rock say this on the podcast earlier, or King Thrash, one of them. These CEOs, they not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Even though them targets is insured, they probably sitting back, just like the murder degree charges got increased, right? Now I'm not saying the looting is wrong, don't get me wrong, but these CEOs, they're not stupid. Their buildings is insured, and they probably saying, you best believe them CEOs is calling around, making calls to these different state representatives saying, y'all better bring this motherfucking police officer on some charges so these people can stop fucking up my money.
Yeah, they
You
facing
hit
pressure
America
from
in
all
the
sides.
pockets. You
like
hit
them
America in the
companies are
pockets.
gonna grow
But you know
heads
the
like a
the
hyena,
problem is
like
that
all the time.
the
They're
problem
gonna
is
come
that
back.
you know when it comes to like, and I'm not saying you guys specifically, but it's what I'm seeing on Twitter a lot. I see a lot of people highlighting the riots more though than speaking on how black people feel. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
that's definitely something that I think what people are forgetting here is, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, white people are this and white people are tired and white people go through this, white people this, that, and, that's part of the problem too, is that whenever we're speaking on a black issue, there's always that counter to, well, white people,
What
that's
about
also
isms?
privilege.
Yeah.
You talking about like
That's
Yeah,
all,
what
that's
about
also
all lives
privilege.
matter or
Oh yeah, the
something?
whole
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
yeah,
matter
See,
that
shit.
shit.
the problem is that black lives matter. You feel me? Right now, we're only speaking on black people because this is what this stuff affects black people the most,
On a
right?
daily.
These are the things that I think there are that some white people or some people in general aren't understanding, right? Us as black people, what we have dealt with going into our for years, decades, again, hundreds of years, that stuff is in our DNA. What our slaves,
It's ingrained.
what slavery went through, that's
Yeah.
like no bullshit. They beat that into our DNA. I'm dead ass.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And that wasn't that long ago either. The Jim
what
Crow
us is
era, the civil rights, that
well,
shit
that's
wasn't
even
that
that.
long
That's what
ago.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Black
shit, it
Wall
wasn't that
Street,
far.
all that other stuff. That's the problem. Some people are keep trying to take away from what the main issue is here. Is that black people are tired of the police brutality, the systemic racism, the systemic oppression, not being heard. Right. That's the
Right.
problem here. Right.
Yep.
We feel like we're not being heard. Now, again, is the rioting good?
Should it have gotten
There's
to
always
that
going to
point?
be a subset of people that take advantage of the chaos, because
Yeah,
everyone that's out there rioting don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement, don't
yeah, of
believe that
course.
black people should be
Exactly.
this and that, or don't even, or and
Exactly.
even and they just don't care. They're
Mm-hmm.
taking advantage of, they're just taking advantage of
Taking
the
opportunity.
situation. Yeah,
And
opportunists.
you even
They're
got
just taking
videos
advantage of the
of
situation, and and again, that's wrong. Now, there's other people that are frustrated, and they're definitely they're looting or they're breaking windows and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Listen, man, people don't really understand how angry black people are. It's not just George Floyd. George Floyd is the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
And if you watch that video, bro, I watched that video. Yo, I was like, my eyes was burning, like, because I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this is crazy, bro.
But you gotta
you know
understand that
what
this
else
shit is
made that
shown.
video? You know what else made it spread like it did? Think about it. Most of us is at home. Most of America was in quarantine, right? So you in quarantine, what you doing? You got people doing art, cleaning up, or they on the phone. They on the internet. So yeah, this shit spread quick because people are actually here at home to see the shit.
But think about it. I bring it up like this. Like that man looked at the fucking camera. knew that he was killing somebody. Like, and they had to bring up, yeah, he probably had a healthy lifestyle, so that's why he died. He should have been able to withstand that for however long he was on there. It's just like people literally came out with that type of logic. Think about that. Like they never approached anybody else with that type of logic.
No, that's what they always do. They always try to bring something out, like that one guy who got killed when he was jogging, right? They try to bring up, well, he went into an abandoned building that was being built and shit like that.
So,
like it's all complete bullshit. And here's the thing: was like the all lives matter people and shit like that. The conversation right now is about black lives, right? Innocent black lives that are being murdered, literally lynched by the government and the police, and they're getting away with it, right? Right now, obviously, the four police who are involved with this last case, right? They're now in custody, right? And they're getting charged and shit like that, which is a good thing. Cool.
Except for the one guy fled.
Yeah, but there's been so many other cases where just the police just got away with it, and if they did get punished for it, it was just they got fired from their job. It's like they need to go to fucking jail. They need to go to prison.
No, like,
and here's the thing with the hold on. Here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing with the all lives matter people, right? Say I'm at a convention, a medical convention, and they're talking about the dangers of AIDS and HIV and how it affects lives and what we can do to prevent that and what we need to do to stop it. And then somebody in the crowd starts yelling, well, cancer is bad too. You know what I mean? Cancer is dangerous and it's taking lives too. Yes, we understand that cancer is bad, but that's not the conversation right now. The conversation is about AIDS and HIV. And this goes exactly to the whole Black Lives Matter. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. You know what I mean? If Black lives don't matter, then all lives don't matter neither. You know what I mean? You can't keep saying that. I just want to say that people keep saying that shit.
Yeah.
Shit is like what the tip of the iceberg is like what a lot of people are like misunderstanding that they're tying a lot of these frustrations to is that you have George Floyd, in which it was publicized, like it was put out there on the internet for everybody to fucking see. And you see the brutality of it. And then you have people out there who want to find a justifiable thing just to kind of like, just to be like, all right, well, he deserved to lose his life that way. Like you have no universal health care. You have starvation wages. You have mass incarceration. You have a long history of police brutality, period. You have a lack of opportunities. Racist politicians, racist justice system, no reparations, and no access to affordable health care. Those are just minor things. Like those are just like, this is like a short list of things.
The thing that was most alarming to me watching that
it's
video
like,
was the indifference of the officers.
Deep into it, but people are tying all of this frustration to this man's death.
Mm-hmm. What you mean, an indifference of the officer?
So like the other officers, while they were seeing the situation unfold, they weren't reacting. Like they were just so indifferent to the way the officer was treating Floyd. That's what was the most alarming thing to me. Like,
they don't say shit. Yeah, exactly.
And it was they didn't say anything to the officer, nothing. They just let him.
The cops who don't do shit about it, they're just as they're just as guilty. They're just as guilty and they're just as bad, right? I don't agree with the sentiment that all cops are bad, right? Because there are good cops out there, but if those good cops don't start speaking up or don't stop stopping these motherfuckers from doing this shit, right? Policing their own, then But
there's a culture in police where it's blue protect blue.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
However, it was a lot of policemen around the world speaking up on this.
Yeah, it's easier to do that for different cities. Like, it's easier for like LAPD or NYPD or Chicago PD to speak on Minneapolis because they're not. That's not a Conrad of theirs. You know what I mean? That's a different district. You know, so
yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Like my bad. Like it keeps going the fuck out, and it was like the shit. It keeps going out, and I touched on the iceberg.
Yeah, you gotta get. Yeah, we heard your point. Yeah.
Yeah. This is like shit. Because I had friends who were cops, like who became cops out of school, and you see how their entire demeanor changes. And it's just like it's different when you're seeing it happen in first person. Like you're fucking seeing this person just like it's like a transformation mentally. Like they're not human anymore. Like it's like they just fucking see like, oh, well, like you shouldn't have did this. So like, I mean, I have a justifiable reason to put a bullet in your knee. Like it's just like they it's like it's just the certain things
barbaric.
that he said. I can't really like go into detail with the things that he said to me, but there was a riot that broke out in my school. I saw literal fucking cops kicking pregnant girls. I saw cops applying all of their weight, like you know how you have benches out the front of your school, like they were bending people's backs, applying all of that weight there. I came there to pick my brother up. Like I came there to pick him up. We're leaving the school. My brother's name is Maurice. I call him Mo. I was like, yeah, fuck you, Mo. Like we were joking and shit. Cop come through and grabbed my little brother. I grabbed the cop. Like, cause I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, I didn't know that like people were doing whatever. However this thing broke out, it broke out. They grabbed her. My mother screaming and crying. That got me tense. So then they're grabbing him, pepper spraying him. I hear his scream. That got me tense. So shit is just like I'm just ready to go. So like I didn't give a shit, cause like that's my family. These are people that I'm watching being brutalized around me, and I don't like you're trying, like you're going into fight or flight mode. Like your mind is just like shit. Like this is like warfare now. Like you fucking like you twitching, you itchy, you ready, you gone. So it's like there were like 3 cops that had to restrain me. I'm not a big guy, bro. So I'm probably like 150 cut up. I'm not a big guy, B. So like there were like 3 cops in body armor that had to like fucking sit on me to get me from like you get what I'm saying? And I still had to come to that realization that I'm just like, yo, like I'm not fucking with you. Like they fucked up my mother's wrist, they pepper sprayed him. Like my brother, like he's not ready to go out like that, B. Like, do you understand how that affects black people like mentally?
Shit,
like these people are supposed to be here fucking like protecting you, and it's like you all in my mouth, you misread a situation and then start grabbing people. It's just like I was ready to go that day. Like they could have put me the fuck down, B. Like that shit hurt me. Like hurt hearing my mom scream and cry because she think we about to be murked out here. You understand me? Like think about your mom screaming and yelling like, what the fuck are you doing to my son? What's going on? What's happening? Why are you doing this and all of that? Like that fucks up your mind. And then adding on top where you lived at, adding on top of what your household is like, adding on top that you can't get a job or get money or whatever, like all of that shit. It's just like it piles up.
I mean, you know, it's crazy. You obviously, you know, had first-hand experience with situations like that. You know what I mean? I can't say, you know, I've had situations like that. I mean, I've been pulled over by the cops maybe 4 times, you know what I mean? And, you know, luckily, you know, I walked out of all of those like alive, and I was blessed to get a ticket. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, but I haven't went to the situations where I can experience firsthand, so I can understand why some of these situations, because you've somewhat experienced firsthand what like an overly aggressive cop could be doing to you. Me, my only experience is more so like, fuck, these niggas are pulling me over because I have a graduation tassel on my thing. You know what I mean? Like that's literally like the last time I got put over for a graduation tassel. Is supposedly blocking my view. But yeah, you know what I mean. So I get where, you know, some of that anger and animosity and that tense come up. And you know, I mean, I appreciate you for, you know, sharing that. I want to give a shout out to A1 Knowledge. She's at best PX podcast ever, reminiscent of the A&O show. If you guys don't know, I have another channel called Apples and Oranges. I used to do, it was non-gaming stuff.
You need to bring that up smooth.
No, shit, I wasn't hip.
Yeah, I still get comments today like, hey, any more content? Like, I don't know, man. This would have been a good show for that, but obviously it was something we couldn't ignore.
Can't be ignored. Yeah, you can't ignore this shit. So, it's too big. It's bigger than gaming.
It is, and as speaking of gaming, it has impacted, you know, gaming. Multiple events either postponed or cancel. A lot of major publishers tweeting and posting that they, stand in solidarity and promoting Black Lives Matter. Nickelodeon going off air for 47 seconds. People getting scared for they can't breathe promo.
That was some bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot. PlayStation came out, Xbox came out. PlayStation actually postponed their PlayStation. Nintendo postponed things. EA postponed things.
Nintendo too.
No. They came out and said something.
They can't say something, but the PlayStation actually postponed their PlayStation 5 reveal. Monday they announced their reveal was going to be on the 5th, and then Tuesday they said they will postpone it. So they even had advertisements.
Did they give another date?
No, but the rumored date is the 12th.
It's the 12th. Yeah, but we'll see. They're just probably waiting for this thing to blow up because tomorrow is supposed to be the memorial service for George Floyd.
Yeah, and he's having 3.
A lot of people didn't take that into account. And when Sony announced this, right, and I knew this was going to happen, right, because this was the first thing that I quote tweeted it. I said, I haven't looked at the comments yet, but my prediction is people are going to be selfish and make this about console war bullshit. You know what I mean? And then as soon as I started looking at the comments, guess what? Oh, the world doesn't revolve around America. This was supposed to be my escapism and shit like that. And the one thing I want to say about the whole thing, well, this was supposed to be a form of escape. Some people can't escape this reality. This reality, like no matter what they do, they can't. It's an hour of games wouldn't help those people who lost their father, who lost their brother, sister, whatever, who might have had their businesses, small businesses, burned down or rioted or looted or whatever. This shit's not gonna help. This shit's not gonna help them. The only people that can watch this event and completely escape from what's going on are the people who it doesn't directly affect and who are privileged to just sit in their homes and not be affected by all this shit that's going on. So I saw a lot of disgusting comments, right, from every community, right, from the Xbox, PlayStation, or whatever. You know what I mean? I was seeing Xbox guys making it about a console. Oh, Sony, they're scared to show some shit and they're using this, blah blah blah. That's complete bullshit because they paid ad for ESPN, which is super expensive, right? I saw when Sony posted the shit about the whole thing about Black Lives Matter, there was a guy in there that said, "Thank you, PlayStation. Fuck Xbox players," which is complete bullshit because who's included in Xbox players? There's a lot of black Xbox players that I know. A lot of them are here in this podcast. So when you're saying fuck Xbox player in the Black Lives Matter post, you're pretty much saying fuck black Xbox players as well. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of disgusting things, but it's the gaming community. The gaming community is filled with a bunch of toxic, racist ass people who only say this shit because they know they can get away with this shit.
They don't deal with the reality of what's going on in our society. So that's why I don't really go back and forth with those individuals because I let them just stay in their own lane and be ignorant on their own. They're gonna cast themselves out just by saying something like that, and then you seeing them act like that on social media, you know who the real genuine people are, who understand what's going on in our society and understand why something like this has to happen in terms of postponing the event, versus those who just want to have their own little console war self-satisfaction thing going on. It doesn't. I don't know. It's just very weird. It's very weird to see how these people react to situations like this. Like, do you not understand what's going on in our world today? Like,
they still living in La La Land, man. Reality going. With the PlayStation thing,
privilege, bro.
It was a lot of people was looking forward to it, but at the end of the day, I mean, shit, it is more serious stuff going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I understand.
It's not like black folks weren't looking forward to it. I know the fuck I was, but I still appreciate the gesture, and even as like a corporate type of thing, like so it's kind of like they want to, like you're just hoping whoever posted it is like they're genuine in that, like you really hoping for it, but like businesses do what businesses do. So shit is just like they gonna be like they want to hop on the bandwagon no matter how shitty the bandwagon is. it's just like they just want to be included, and they want to show that they're inclusive, and they want to get those who are fucking
you know what's funny?
by this. They want to get them in there to get themselves up and shit. You know.
You know what's funny about the whole PlayStation situation is, you know, had they have gone ahead and did the conference tomorrow, the news sites would have said, you know, game media sites would have been like, first off, it would have came off as tone deaf.
Yep.
Second of all, it would have,
Yes.
second of all, it would have been, you know how these game media sites would have been. The headlines were read. Should Sony have given? Should Sony have done their conference given the state of the world right now? Or the other ones would have been, oh, you know, as great as it is to see the Sony conference, I still can't get past what's going on in the world, right? Like, you know, all that shit.
Shit,
like,
I
shit
said
like
that
that,
it was tone deaf.
you know?
And like motherfuckers was laughing at me and like and being very dismissive towards me, and it's just like, how, bro? Like, you
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that it's.
Yeah.
I'm happy that they did it. Like, I'm like, listen, I'm disappointed, but I also understand. Like, that's one thing I want people to understand. It's okay to be disappointed that the conference isn't happening. That doesn't make you a bad person, and that doesn't make you a person that doesn't care about the issue at hand. You know, it's okay to feel that way. It's nothing wrong with that.
Don't, though. Like, you
but
know that.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. At the same time, this is why, you know, because granted, I'm a PlayStation fan. You know, I prefer PlayStation. I have no problem saying that.
Facts.
But there's a lot of people that don't know when to turn the console war off.
Yeah.
Or don't know when to turn the fanboying off. And it's like, with the way the world is right now, this isn't about PlayStation versus Xbox. You know, this isn't about that. This is about real world shit. And this is why I was like, you know, do you people look outside? Do you read the news? Do you not know what's going on? But then also another side of me is like, these people, they don't care. These are incel weirdos. They got no life. They got no friends outside of
no life, no friends, no job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No job. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are those type of people. So the sad part about it is these people are like 30. You would think these people are like 15, 16, 18. No, these are like 30 and 40-year-old, 50-year-old men that are doing this shit. Like these, it's crazy.
That post wasn't even up an hour. You already had people commenting weird, crazy shit, using it for fucking ammo. I'm like, this real shit going on right now.
Yeah, shit. Hey, I'll be honest with you.
Like, ain't got no integrity,
my block
bro.
button just been hot. So like my block button just been hot. So
I've barely been on social.
Not only that, but I think people need to understand that PlayStation is a Japanese company. They're not an American company, right?
But the headquarters is in America.
No, yes, their headquarters is in America, but they don't move without the say so of the Japan, which is that's the main site.
So that's their culture.
It's a whole totally different economics going on over there.
Yo, but you know what's crazy? Did y'all see the article that Kotaku put up? And it was about how Japanese players, right, in Japan reacted to this news about the PlayStation event being postponed. And all of the comments, or a lot of the comments, they might have handpicked some, but all of the comments were like, that's cool. I can wait. I know there's a protest going on over in America. It's fine. Like, they were being real cool about it and shit like that.
Reasonable.
Right? We got people here in America right now that's just being like that, just completely selfish, and it's like, nah, I don't fuck and blah blah blah, calling other people hypocrites because, you know what I mean. It's just complete fucking disgusting. And then people will bring up, well, they didn't do nothing when the Hong Kong thing was going on. They didn't do nothing when all this other shit was going on. Yeah, but they're doing something right now. So you can't keep bringing that shit up. They're doing something right now. So quit trying to like undermine their decision. Whatever they might not be sincere about it. They might be. It might be a marketing ploy, right? To be like, well, we don't want this situation to affect our shit with the PS5, so we're just gonna purport. It may be that, right? Or they can be legit about it. Who knows? But you can't just keep bringing up, oh, they didn't do it in the past, so why should we give a fuck if they do it right now? Because there's a situation going on right the fuck now. So
yeah,
that's just a weak argument when people bring that shit up.
Hoping, like I'll say, shit is just like the corporations, and it's just like Xbox has been more like attentive to that type of stuff where it deals with like women in gaming or black people in gaming or whatever. It's just like you're just hoping that behind that entity that there are people within that place that are like, yeah, like we are with this shit, like we need to support these people, we should not be posting this or that. Like, but like as like a company, I mean, they probably not, like black bomb with the fuckery already, bro. Like, come on, bro.
I mean,
and then it's crazy because
people in the comments saying that they don't care. They listen. None of these companies probably don't care, but the fact that they're considerate enough to postpone it for whatever reason that is, because they don't want to lose the spotlight, because Black Lives Matter, whatever. The gesture is what's important here.
It's just a gesture, whether they care or not. It's still a good decision, right? Whether you want to give them sincere credit or not.
These companies don't care. I mean, like you said, it's just the fact of acknowledging it. Because at the end of the day, we know they want all eyes on them, and right now that's impossible. Because
it's impossible. They couldn't get that. It's gonna be hard to trend on Twitter with every state protesting and stuff like that. So, and I'm not sure. It was disappointing, but I wasn't really like sweating it like that. Sony's been has been really proactive with a lot of these things that have been problematic, whether it be COVID and now with the protests. It was honestly expected at that point. Like when the tweet came, I was like, I'm actually not surprised. So it is what it is. And then I think a lot of people took my tweet the wrong way, where I said, well, no distractions. And a lot of people, I guess, took that as me saying, no, like I need a distraction. I'm just saying, nah, there's no, like, what's going on, it's with us for a while. if PlayStation is willing to postpone their reveal, the shit that we're about to see is probably going to be like on something epic, and I continued from there. But no, I mean, otherwise, I mean, yeah, sure, it does suck, but hopefully the rumored date is June 12th. I don't know. I can't be following PlayStation rumored dates.
You know how crazy that day would be though, Smooth? If it's June 12th, that's the same day that the Last of Us 2 reviews come out.
Yep.
Oh man.
I think they may put it the day before. I don't think they want
to.
The same day.
The Last of Us 2.
Say it again.
Y'all got any predictions for Metacritic or Last of Us 2?
97.
I won't say 97. I say
94.
I say
93.
I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna say 88.
Damn.
If it's
who the fuck said that?
Stop it, bro.
I watched, and I want to thank Kid Smooth for providing the content of The Last of Us, because that inspired me to go back and play it on Grounded. And playing it on Grounded, it was a bunch of bullshit. The gameplay mechanics in Last of Us is severely fucked up.
Yeah,
well, I mean, ain't no. I know what he's saying.
Game and this game is truly different.
That many points.
All that magnetic grabbing, and bro, I got through one part where Ellie was sniping. When she sniped for you, I cleared everybody out, but the game glitched. I had to play that shit all over.
Yup, there's no checkpoint.
Hell no. I was mad as hell.
Nah, that's definitely gonna be a 95, man. Those first impressions, were glowing. At least a 95 or better.
90. Should I say like maybe like 93? I don't think.
I'm thinking 97.
You said 97.
Between 95 and 97. Y'all ain't read and watch those first impressions.
No,
right,
y'all ain't reading my first impressions, man.
I mean, I ain't saying the game gonna be trash. I know it's gonna be cold. I'm just saying.
No, you don't understand. These people are saying that this game, they saying that the world building and the enemy and just everything about this game is next level. Like everyone's saying that. It ain't just one person.
I don't doubt it.
You know, the one thing I don't agree with though is when Kiss Move said that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is gonna score higher than Ghost of Tsushima. I do not agree.
That's yo, listen.
It will be.
That's not your Smooth. That's
well, I don't care. As long as they do it by 1 or 2 points, I'm good. Like,
that's not happening, Smooth. That's not happening.
Can't do it, bro.
Watch. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is just gonna be a little bit too empty, and it's gonna. Is
Man,
it,
I
hey,
don't know, man.
like here, here's the thing.
Wait a second. Did we
All right,
all
yo,
watch the same gameplay?
if you remove Assassin's Creed, I'm actually rooting for Ghost of Tsushima. I was more hyped for Ghost of Tsushima than I was for the Last of Us. I only got hyped for Last of Us after beating the damn the Grounded campaign. So I want Ghost of Tsushima, but right now, Assassin's Creed, like I said, has been, for me, the last 2 years that they had to release has been gaudy material. And I think Ghost of Tsushima...
Wait, what?
Yes!
Yo, Smooth.
Origins and Odyssey has been gaudy material. Now,
Valhalla...
Valhalla...
Odyssey is... Odyssey, I couldn't
Assassin's
do,
Creed,
man.
I don't think Ghost of Tsushima is going to be bad. I just need Valhalla to score an 88 and Ghost of Tsushima to score an 86 or 87. We good.
Ghost of Tsushima is going to be a solid 89.
88, 89. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
It's going to score higher.
Nah, fam.
I'm telling you, Assassin's Creed is going to be about 83.
You know what? Let me ask everybody a
84.
question. Let me ask everybody a question in this chat, right? Which game do you think you're gonna put more time in that you're gonna play? Are you gonna put more time into Ghost of Tsushima or Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Well, history shows it's gonna be Assassin's Creed.
Hold on. Here's the thing with that. The thing with the Assassin's Creed, especially like the last couple of ones, is that they're overly freaking bloated and huge for like no damn reason.
He keeps saying,
you know what I mean?
Well, we haven't seen gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so we can't really judge it off the old game. So I'm gonna give, just because I love Assassin's Creed so much, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But with Ghost of Tsushima, did y'all watch the game? Yo, that game is gonna be like really fire, man.
The gameplay is what makes me think it's gonna get an 88, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, 88 is 88 bad?
No, it's good. No, they said 90 something.
I think Ghost of Tsushima is gonna be a solid 89. 88.
I give it 88.
But they say, but this is why they're encouraging exploration.
Score in the 90s.
They said that there's gonna be a lot of things to explore. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're gonna get immersed in Ghost of Tsushima more.
Dude, you know how many open world games says that though? Like you could.
Listen.
Nah, but see, this is the difference.
This is Sucker
Punch. This is Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch didn't make no gaudy material.
This is a PlayStation exclusive, but instead you can take them for face value. You feel me? Like let's put the respect on PlayStation games. You know?
Let me ask Nick this: how many failed movie producers they put on this project? Come on,
like the Sony moniker adds 10 extra points.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Sony moniker adds.
I gotta read Josh's T super chat. He said keyboard warriors would get folded in real life. He said that a little while ago.
Oh shit!
True.
Oh, who you talking about?
No, because when we were talking about how people were talking sideways gamers, like how sometimes
flexing on.
But it's just like going back to like Ghost of Tsushima, right? It's just like, and yes, I'm gonna keep bringing this up. It's just like Breath of the Wild, right? Where everybody thought that shit was gonna be empty, right? You look up into the world, it looks like it's like an empty, barren wasteland with not much to do.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start exploring, there's always something that keeps popping up and something meaningful that keeps popping up in shit that you do.
Chris, I don't think you're gonna be hand gliding in Ghost of Tsushima.
There's gonna be
a lot of people not. It's not.
I bet you this movie. I bet you for the exploration that's in Ghost and all like the side context and the little things to explore, it's going to be more meaningful than all of the
I was going to
side
say that too, Chris. I was going to say that. It's definitely.
Who determines that? Like, who determines that?
Like
the gamer.
The reviewers. We talking about the reviewers now. Then plus, think about this. They said it's gonna be like kind of a hard game too. So
but they also said that you'll be able to adjust the difficulty. So
they did.
I
thought it was gonna be standard.
Yeah, that shit getting played on normal.
You can also adjust the difficulty. So for those that don't want a brutal experience, you can lighten that up.
Yeah, then if you want. I might change my score then, because I thought they were saying it was gonna be a like one set difficulty.
Yeah, like
No,
that.
they clarified. The news did come out that it was going to be one, but then Sucker Punch they rebutted and clarified.
They had to do that because who wants to play a freaking big ass game like that though? Like you can't have a hard game and a long game at the same damn time. It can't. It can't be that. Nah, bro.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you want,
it's too much.
You
can get through the main story in Ghost of Tsushima if you want, but you're gonna be immersed in the world and doing side quests and stuff like that. And
like Neo,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like when it comes to Ghost of Tsushima, they said the story is about 30 to 40 hours.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. So 40 hours of story. Then you figure if you're doing world exploring side missions and stuff like that, 60 hours maybe.
60, that game sounds bloated as hell.
Yeah,
another day's gone, bro.
Quick 7 to 80 hours.
Days Gone was another game. That game was great. I love Days Gone. Like,
it's
really fun.
Days Gone was great. Days Gone too. People hate Days Gone.
Really
good. But if the difficulty,
knew they was gonna score it like that though.
Really, if it complements the gameplay in the world, like that aesthetic and like that authenticity of how battles really were fought around in that time, then I'm all for it.
Well, they said that it was going to be very realistic to the samurai movies.
Exactly. So like in like some of them films I watched, so like I fuck with it. Like I fuck with that whole aesthetic, like that whole world they're building. Yeah. If the difficulty complements that shit, I would have took the hard game. Like I'd have been like, okay, this is how fucking samurais.
Well, let me ask y'all a question.
Was great, like shit.
All right, we got
super chat. Estimated.
We got a super chat from my from my guy El Matador.
I was about to call him estimated.
Nah. He said, y'all keep down talking Ghost. Can't wait for that game to come out and prove everybody wrong. Sucker Punch can go head to head with the best in the industry. Let them know, Matador.
Really? Can they?
I think this is their
and what though? What was the last?
Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Sucker Punch's catalog is very solid. Very solid.
No, it's solid.
It's really. Are they even?
Infamous games? Infamous games are good. Sly Cooper games were good.
They're average.
I was never.
They weren't.
The open world is what I'm looking at.
It was like I never cared for Infamous. I was like I don't know.
I like Infamous, but we gotta like Blandrew said, we gotta slow down on Sucker Punch. Like they ain't going blow for blow with like the major studios. Yeah, they make good games.
Sucker Punch is a major game. Wait a second, hold on. Sucker Punch is a major studio.
Elevate them though.
No, they are.
They're a very major studio. The Infamous games were very solid games.
I love the Infamous
Sly
games.
Cooper games were very solid.
All right, so Sly Cooper is like 20 years old, and Infamous was average.
Did you play Infamous?
What?
Yeah, let's settle this right here. Hold on, with since we got Sono here with Chris. Let me ask all y'all this. Hold on. So Sucker Punch, what? Guerrilla Games, Naughty Dog,
Santa Monica Studios,
Insomniac, Santa Monica,
Sony Japan, right? You said that.
Sony Japan. Right.
Japan.
Where would you put Sucker Punch in that lineup?
They'll be like fourth.
Like
Insomniac Games, I think is better.
Yeah, for me, Naughty Dog definitely is number one there.
Okay.
Then Santa Monica.
Yep. Wait, why is Santa Monica number 2? They only got one like one game. Yeah, but that's what. Like, come on, like at least Naughty Dog got a couple IPs in there that like kind of like. I don't know what else Santa Monica make.
Of the IP though, it's the quality of the IP that puts
exactly. And they got a bunch.
Yeah, we're talking about quality of games here.
All right. In that case, I put Gorilla above Sucker Punch.
Sony Santa Monica also made more than just they made more than just what's it called? They God of War. They made a ton of games.
Yeah,
were they any good though?
Say it again.
Were they any good?
Yes, they co-developed Warhawk, they Starhawk. What's the name? PlayStation All Stars.
Oh my god!
Okay. Like it's a ton of they co-developed quite a few games. Again, the God of War. That was that? Yeah, I think that was. No, that was a different studio. But they've made and then the God of War series is a very solid series, and then this most recent God of War 2018. This game is on another level when it comes to game design, in combat and things like that is a very, very, very solid game, solid story. The world building, everything is solid with that game.
So you would put
Yeah,
Naughty Dog, Santa Monica.
Journey,
So Naughty Dog, Santa Monica. Who's third?
Gorilla.
All right. It did. Who's fourth?
Sucker Punch.
No, Insomniac. Insomniac's better than Sucker Punch.
I will put. Okay, Sucker Punch and Insomniac. That would kind of be a battle because the Ratchet and Clank games and the Spider-Man that they did is again amazing.
Don't forget about Sunset Overdrive. What's up?
Sunset Overdrive is solid too. I actually enjoyed. That's what made me buy an Xbox. So Sucker Punch. Insomniac is definitely up there. But again, Infamous, the story, especially 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Infamous and Cole is such a good. The story with that game is so great. And then what they did with Infamous Second Son and First Light.
I like First Light.
Very, very, very solid.
I really like First Light.
And then again, what makes Sucker Punch so great here is you also have to look at the versatility of the studio. When you look at their catalog and what they've made in the past up until now, and look at what they're taking on with the new game being Ghost of Tsushima, this is something entirely different from what they're used to doing. And the fact that they're stepping outside of their element, but also following the right rules of taking on a new IP, research, all that different things to understand the Japanese culture and all these different things, doing those things and also moving the way they were moving. This elevates them so high because again, they're playing in foreign territory. They have a brand new IP and they've managed to create a new IP that looks very, very appealing.
Like
you have to applaud them for that.
Like they've done their work where it's like this may be personally for me their best game. This may be the best thing the Sucker Punch has done for me personally.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Y'all making these validations before the game even gets in your hands.
No,
because they're Sony, baby.
What I'm saying is not law. I'm just saying
it's the movie producers, man.
To me on a lot of levels.
I get it.
With Insomniac though, what puts them at that number 4, number 3 spot as well is the fact that again, Resistance, very, very solid.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
And then when you look from Resistance to Ratchet and Clank, again, the versatility. They can create a shooter like this that's captivating, but they can also make something that quote unquote family friendly, still a shooter, but it's also something
that I never got into.
Now with Spider-Man, open world.
Yeah, in Spider-Man, this is the greatest Spider-Man game we've ever gotten, in my opinion.
I mean,
greatest Spider-Man game we have ever gotten.
The right developers to do it. I give them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let me read these super chats. We have Matt Ramen says, I thought the new God of War had boring gameplay for $2.
I loved it, honestly.
Notorious Nicholas says for $2, no respect for Insomniac in the Resistance game, and then you guys just talked about it.
We just named it.
And then Chris, can you say this dude's name before I call him Estimator?
El Matador, which means the killer.
Matador.
He says Sucker Punch is greater than the Coalition, or no?
Facts.
No, absolutely. No. Coalition. I'll tell you one thing. And
they don't have a catalog like that. So
what are you talking about?
Who? Yeah, the Coalition. They don't have a catalog like. Yeah.
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. It's not really fair.
I've only done one game thus far, bro.
Two, but it's only one franchise. Yeah, that shit, and that don't count to me, man.
They did Gears 4 or 5 in Ultimate Edition. They did a good remaster to Gears 1.
Those are
I would put Guerrilla Games ahead of Naughty Dog.
Really?
Oh, nah. Their catalog. When you look at the catalog, it ain't really.
I'm sorry. Naughty Dog top of the list, bro.
Me on the Guerrilla Games is shell shock.
To me personally, my favorite is Sony Santa Monica, only because the God of War franchise. That's my favorite first party franchise from PlayStation.
So the reason why Naughty Dog is the best is because if you look at like all of the studios from PlayStation, theirs is probably the most versatile. We've got Jak and Daxter. We've got Crash Bandicoot. We've got Uncharted. We've got Last of Us. These guys are
Savage Starlight.
these guys are amazing when it comes to their versatility
And
and the games that they're
Microsoft had to
creating.
offer those guys
So,
over
so
there the
you
bag to come
Well,
over.
he was the only ones that they was the
but-
only ones that tackled that cell processor that good
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I mean,
And
But
and
both
if you guys
PlayStation and
remember,
both,
Naughty Dog is
like,
the
yeah,
ones that
wanted
also
to-
introduced the mocap.
Yeah,
yep,
I remember
like,
the
they
first
wanted to go
Uncharted had
back-
like the
like-
most animation.
that's true.
Like ever
like
seen
with
in a
Naughty
game.
Dog, like with Naughty Dog, what puts them above is their hand animation of detail. Like they hand draw a lot of that shit, and it's like you could tell from like Ellie Joe's expressions and like all that. They hand draw that. Like a lot of places don't know that about them. Like they fucking. Do you know how difficult that is? And to make that shit look that good, like that shit is retarded. So it's like, I mean, I put Naughty Dog definitely up there in like Santa Monica second, because like Sony knows how to spread that knowledge amongst their teams.
Yep.
Shit,
And that's
so,
Naughty
so
Dog-
y'all not
Microsoft
gonna
does too.
y'all not
That's
They
how
better
y'all not
Microsoft
gonna give
does it.
Guerrilla Games no
It's the
shine. I put them
Guerrilla
second in
Games,
this
like I mean, when
Guerrilla
they made like
Games-
the old Killzone,
because they went from
games, I love
Killzone
that
to
shit.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
But that's what
Killzone.
I'm saying.
And they
versatility
create their own
is
engine in
also-
the process.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
really-
Their
Yeah,
versatility
and
is
then,
amazing too. This
Yeah,
is what I'm
Horizon
saying.
Zero
You
Dawn.
gotta, when you rank in Sony Studios, there's a lot that these studios have done. Like when you're looking
Yeah,
at their
shit, but
past
they
and their
share,
present,
too.
and they're
Like
putting in work.
share amongst their teams, and it's like that's really smart to do. If somebody don't know how to animate some shit to the quality that you want them to do, hey yo, Naughty Dog employee, get your fucking ass over there and handle that. Like they gonna make that shit look
Crunch,
good. And you
crunch
like,
culture, yeah.
like-
You working 80 hours a week now.
Oh man.
Nah, you
Oh,
working
man.
120 hours a week now. You coming from here, you going to Santa Monica to get them God of War animations on point.
Oh man.
Let's
So-
get it.
They
And then
been
Microsoft is gonna order those studio heads to come over here. We're gonna offer them the bag, get them off the slave plantation over there. Because you gotta remember,
Man.
all those dudes are
Oh,
fed up
man.
over there at Naughty Dog. They
All
fed
right,
up.
So
man.
hold on.
overall,
I'm
which
gonna address
game studio y'all say is the best?
Oh,
Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog. That shit. Yo, they
Yeah,
got the
Naughty
motherfuckers.
Dog.
Naughty
Hold
Dog.
on, I
I'm
want to address somebody's a bunch
I'm
of
talking about across all gaming.
Oh,
So,
gaming?
somebody said
I
a bunch
can't
of
say that.
BS
Damn,
Naughty
terms.
Dog.
That's
What
tough.
versatility
That's
when
tough.
they're talking about Naughty Dog, right? Somebody said a bunch of BS third person games. What versatility? Okay, so you got Crash and Jack and Daxter. Well, Crash.
What is it being in third person? Wait a
Hold
second. Don't even answer
on,
that.
hold on.
No,
No.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
That was a
Let me
little
finish.
too much.
Let me finish. Crash Bandicoot, a traditional platformer, right? Then you had Jack and Daxter. I remember Jack and 2 being more like open world, so that was like another, platforming like open world game. Then you got Uncharted, third person action adventure, and then you got Last of Us, survival horror. Just because all those games are in third person, they're all completely different from each other. They're all versatile in different genres. Doesn't matter what the view is, first person or third person. That's versatility. Go ahead.
Like
what were you gonna say, Persona?
it's the gameplay
I was gonna say,
mechanic
what is-
that kind of like ties them all together. That which people are getting kind of tired of, and they want them to go back to older IPs and to bring them up. So like I feel like people are just getting tired of the same mechanic and like perspective that they keep going with. So hopefully they do go back and bring up some the older IPs, or invent some new ones and like have them should be like third person platformers or something like that. Who knows? But that's what I'm getting from people who.
But they're
are
all
heavy
different from each
PlayStation
other
fans.
mechanically, though.
Yeah. But it's just like
Other
the
than
tone
there
of
being
them,
third
just like
person.
story wise is what like diversifies. Like their stories are like very
And the
different
gameplay.
tonally and like I mean shit. I played Uncharted all of them multiple times and then went to kind of like hold up. We're talking about Naughty Dog, right? Yeah, Naughty
Yeah,
Dog.
like-
Then I
Yeah,
went on,
Naughty Dog.
Uncharted
like,
doesn't play the
Last
same
of
as The Last of Us.
Yeah.
They play totally
Yeah, they don't
different.
play-
But they're changing
Yeah.
it up for The Last of Us 2, where I feel the explorative stuff will be very heavily Uncharted. Like it looked like it.
It looked
to me.
really It looked like a more
Like-
grounded version of Uncharted, even
grounded,
though
yeah.
But
you don't
Uncharted, when
jump
they-
as much. Like
Yeah.
Uncharted, like I
Not
said
jumping,
last
it's
week, like
like
Uncharted is
it's
over the top. Uncharted
Yeah,
is very over
and
the
it
top
wasn't-
with
it wasn't-
their stuff.
It wasn't
I'm
to
not saying-
Uncharted
I'm just
4
saying
where they
just, like, the
introduced a more
traversal
wide
period.
area for you to
Like how, like,
explore,
you could
but there
rappel
wasn't
down
really
and stuff,
much
that's all.
explorations within those wide areas.
Yeah, you
versus,
couldn't,
Like
yeah.
The Last of Us
Yeah, it's
2,
control
it looks
levels.
like you're gonna be able to go into a lot of buildings and climb up shit
and stuff like that. So even the exploration is looking like Coke Boy said, it's more grounded, but also more detailed of the stuff that you're going to be able to go into versus Uncharted.
Naughty Dog's approach to gameplay, how they said how like the way that like Uncharted's infliction of damage works with like Nick and everything, the Drake, Nathan, it's just like you're not getting shot, but the bullets are nicking you or they're close to hitting you. I feel like that same philosophy is applied to The Last of Us. So it's like that's why, like, I mean, it's just like there's just certain things that they over because it fits, and they said that this is their largest world, and there's going to be secret shit you could find. So like, why not add that type of traversal from Uncharted where you can rappel down or swing to something, and it's like, all right, boom, like we here. Like, so you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, it's a
my thing is more of like the feel of playing Uncharted versus The Last of Us. The Last of Us is much more slower pace. Uncharted is more of like an action, a much more action-packed, faster-paced gameplay.
It's like a Hollywood movie.
All right, so it's getting kind of late. We got one more super chat I'm gonna read. It is a question. It should be the last question of the show, but it was Terry King says personal top 5 games of the gen.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh man. Damn.
I can everybody on the spot, man.
We gonna go in order the panel or what?
Oh, yeah. Let's start with Chris. His should be easy as shit, man. All right.
Yeah. So in no particular order, right? In no particular order. My top 5 games are Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, and then probably for my 5th one, it will probably be Neo.
Damn, you ain't have Knack. You ain't had Knack on there, bro. You ain't have Death Stranding, Days Gone. Come on, fam.
Oh no, those are in my top 10s. You know, I
Drop Club,
like State of Decay and Super Lucky Cells. And all that bullshit.
Grounded. What's up?
Right, what about Coke Boy?
Who, me? Damn, you put me on the spot, bro. All right. So these, you guys ready?
Yep.
I'm about to come with the heat. All right.
Oh, I forgot to Final Fantasy VII remake.
You see, too bad you messed up. Now, like Chris said, Breath of the Wild is definitely on my list. Has to be. Amazing game. Love it, right?
Man.
All right, that game's on there, right? Breath of the Wild's on there. What else? What else is in my top 5? This gen. I'll put. I know some people gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna put Destiny 2 on there because I play that shit a lot. Like I play the fuck out that game. So yeah, I put that on there. I just like the experience I have. Very biased opinion.
It is addicting.
Yeah, I played a lot. What are the games I played?
Ready, huh?
Yeah, that's just like really on the spot. Like, I gotta really think about that shit. Plus, there's some games I'm currently playing right now.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's.
Hey, I'll go next if you want.
Go ahead. Go next.
Go ahead, take my spot. Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say Bloodborne, Transistor.
Transistor. Okay.
Let me see. Control.
Ew.
Fuck.
Hey, Control is really good, man.
Nah, but for top 5 this gen.
Hey, that's his opinion, man. Let him out.
He's a PlayStation fan.
I like that. I'm playing Alan Wake right now.
We gonna playing Alan Wake right now.
Yeah, I'm playing Alan Wake right now. This shit making more sense after playing Control.
Now you gotta play Quantum Break.
Yeah, I played Quantum Break. That shit was cold. I fuck with Quantum Break. Let me see. I got Bloodborne, Transistor. Damn, I'm fucking Child of Light.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh, you hurt my feelings.
Okay, that ain't
Damn,
bad.
what else?
Black Light Retribution.
What I got? 3.
I could do.
I mean, I got to.
This shit is hard.
Wouldn't Persona 5 be in
do
your
mine.
list? I mean, your name is Persona, right? Persona 5? No.
No, my name.
That's not where he got his name.
Is it really?
Yeah, my name doesn't come from Persona. They call me that in high school.
Wow. See,
Check my persona. Yeah.
Wow.
My English
I thought
teacher.
that too.
Yeah,
People
I'm way
told me
up.
that.
Oh shit.
She used to say, "Oh, you got such a unique persona." I'm like, all right, cool. Uh,
I
for
want to
me,
say
it's
God of War.
Final Fantasy VII remake, God of War, Tales of Berseria, Nino Kuni 2, and A Last of Us 2. That's how confident I am in the game.
Okay.
True.
I think I'm ready to
Hey, man.
give
All right, smooth.
I'm gonna have to
shit,
disagree with
dude.
that Nino Cooney too, dog.
All right.
Nino Kuni
Yo, that game is
fire.
amazing,
All
bro.
right, all right.
Fire.
Check
It
it,
was
check
good.
it.
I beat it, but I didn't think it was.
I got Titanfall 1. Um
One though, not two.
all right, because here's
Yeah,
the
2 is
thing.
way better than 1.
No, 2, I only like 2 for its campaign. I don't like its multiplayer. And Titanfall, I loved the multiplayer and didn't have a
What?
campaign. Yeah, Titanfall 1.
Yo,
Yeah,
Titanfall 2 campaign. They had the same freaking multiplayer, but Titanfall 2 had a campaign that was actually good.
it was a good short campaign,
You know what's
but
crazy? When you say you didn't like it for its campaign, the first thing that came to my mind that I thought you were talking about when they put the PlayStation disc on Twitter and everybody.
No. I love this campaign. I just think I just had a better experience with Titanfall 1. It was like I was hooked. So Titanfall 1, right? Star Wars Battlefront 2015. I don't know why that I was hooked. I didn't want to like that game.
Bro.
I did not want to like that game,
Bro,
but I
you
loved
trolling.
it, bro. I got
shooting mechanics. was good in
bro.
there.
I played that shit on
Battlefront's pretty
PlayStation,
good.
right? Because that was when I got my Dark Vader PlayStation, right? I put a ton of hours, and I remember that Blackout with the Lizard Squad fucked me up that weekend because that's the game I was playing, right? So, and I turned around, got on Xbox, and did even more damage on that one. So we got Titanfall, Star Wars Battlefront 2015. My next game would be obviously I would go with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The other game is Uncharted 4. Shoot, man, that's where it gets kind of fucking hard. I would have to say another game.
Gears?
It's out of. I'm twiddling between Gears 5 and Halo 5. I still play. I'm gonna say Halo 5. Halo 5. So
What
those.
about Crackdown? Crackdown?
Crackdown's no. I like Crackdown, but it's not top game. There's actually, if my top 10 list will look a lot better, but I had to just come up with 5 I know. Like there's actually a lot more PlayStation games in my list, but I wouldn't dare let it dominate my top 5.
Hey, what about Ori? What about Ori?
No, Ori is not a top game for me, bro.
Ori is in my top. Well, since we on Ori, I'm gonna go ahead and do mine.
Mm-hmm.
Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Horizon Zero Dawn, Battlefield 4, Stories in the Path of Destinies. I don't even have a fifth one. I don't think.
I didn't
I was
put
gonna go with
BF4 on my
Battlefield
list.
4.
Yeah, I
Did I
couldn't
say
put BF4 on my list because it was on 360 and PS3. That's why I didn't really put it on my list. Even though it was better on next gen. Like I played a lot of Battlefield 4. Love that game.
It was on the it was on 360 and PS3.
Yeah, it was on there. I played.
Yo,
beta
I
on
didn't
that.
even know.
Like it's weird. Like I'm looking at my joint. Like it got no first person shooters. For mine, shit is more than 5. Like weirdly, like I was compiling this junk. God of War 2018, God tier, bro. Like fucking Ruiner. I tell niggas to play Ruiner every time. Play Ruiner. Drink is fire. Witcher 3, Red Dead 2, Hellblade.
Damn, I forgot
my
Red Dead.
friend Pedro, fire. Play it.
Oh,
Plague's Tale and Ori 2. Like all them janks fire. Those are my games.
Hey, Ruiner, ain't that on Game Pass?
Yeah,
it was.
that's a pretty good game. It is.
Like they just
I have to
fire.
check
Like I
that shit
loved it.
out.
All right, though. Who didn't go? We need.
I think everybody.
Yeah,
Right?
everybody.
I think everybody.
Unless you
Hold on,
guess-
hold on.
Hey, I got. Let me finish mine. I have Bloodborne, Child of Light, Transistor. Those motherfucking. I'm going off. I gotta go Mortal Kombat X.
True.
That's a good one.
And Near Automata.
Oh, that's
a good one.
Yeah.
That one's
is
good.
good, bro.
I
Come on,
could
Yeah,
not-
Flame.
I couldn't
Yeah.
get with it.
Because
No.
Transistor, that game, that music and that atmosphere was cold.
Mhm.
Child of Light, that atmosphere was raw. Mortal Kombat X, I put hella hours into that. fucking Bloodborne. That shit was just epic. The last fight with me and old dude, I literally had no health left.
Yeah, that game nearly broke my neck.
Hey, yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
That shit was funny watching you play that shit, man.
Yeah.
All right, but thank you guys
Bro,
for.
hold on, but and I'm happy this happened.
Oh,
The
inside.
Sega announcement was all about the Game Gear. All right, so Persona and Yakuza are saved. They're not going to the Xbox, or they're not being pressured by Xbox.
I don't think that was the announcement though, bro. Was it?
It was Game Gear and some arcade thing that they were doing. Like,
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
shit
that's
we
the
don't
shit they
care
were hyping
about.
up.
Yeah. But so that Famitsu is on my shit list. I would never like dude talk about he had a Wired article equivalent to the PlayStation 5. Get the hell out of here with that bull. Like, oh
What
man.
games are y'all playing right now?
Minecraft Dungeons.
I got a lot of backlog. I got
right
Uncharted 4, Last of Us, Spider-Man. What else am I playing? Oh, I'm actually playing Ghosts of Sparta on PlayStation Now just to like experiment with the streaming on PlayStation Now, and it's been like really, really good. What else do I got? I gotta play Minecraft Dungeons. I haven't installed, but I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah,
I'd be giving people the work in Mario Kart 8. So if anybody wants that work, you got Switch, let me know.
Yo, don't play with me,
DM
man.
me.
Yo, give me
Nick,
your Switch social
Hey,
security.
y'all fuck with
Nick.
the Smash Brothers?
Give me your
I
Switch
have
social
it, but I don't touch it
security.
like that.
Yeah.
But yo, whoever got the Switch code, hit me up on Twitter
I
at
got
Dopest J. If you want the work in Mario Kart, hit me up. Send that Switch code. I ain't ducking nobody.
I'm
Been
playing
playing,
Mario
Persona
Rabbids right
5
now. That
Royal.
shit dope right there.
I'm just about to be like I'm at the very, very end, like the last chapter of Gravity Rush Remastered, and I'm also playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Switch.
Hey, is that Xenoblade Chronicles good?
Hell no, that shit trash.
I like
Nah,
it.
that
It's
shit's
pretty
good.
dope.
It's
They
good.
want $60 for that motherfucker. I was trying to get some.
I mean, but
It's a
don't go in there
long-ass
expecting
game,
the
man.
graphics to be all,
Yeah.
you know,
If
10
you're
out
not a
of 10.
graphics
But
whore, you should enjoy it
Man.
fine. Plus, it's a long. It's
the
like
gameplay, I
like
though.
it's like minimum like 50 to 60 hours game, but they added like a 20-hour campaign as well as extra too. So it's worth the money, I think.
All right.
If you didn't play the old one.
Stop asking
Yeah,
questions, bro.
I'll just say that I'm playing Yakuza 0. They're making some good progress in that. I'm loving it.
Fire.
Minecraft Dungeons, and I gotta hop back into Nier Automata and like fuck that up. So you know what I'm saying?
I'm playing Alan Wake right now. On X.
Yeah, and I'm playing Alan Wake. Yeah, that's right.
I can't play that
fire.
shit.
Yeah, that shit's
Alan
fucking
Wake code.
tight.
That shit dated. Them
Yeah.
controls is dated.
I thought it was
man.
good. They were gonna be putting out a remaster, but I'll wait till the Series X come out and try to replay that and see if when they add some HDR and hopefully they double
Hey,
the frame rate or something like that.
Hey, that Alan Wake after playing Control, the Alan Wake
Fuck
is
with me.
cold.
Yeah. The jig is fire. Like I love the controls. Like I was fucking shit up.
All right,
like,
but
check out my stream though.
let's get the hell out of here, dude. I really want to get out of here.
All right, let's go.
Shout out to Anthony Lampkin. I'll probably be streaming against starting like tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys, Persona, for joining in and with your
Thank you
input.
for having me.
Really appreciate it. Rossetti, thanks for coming through.
Yes, sir.
And also, obviously, the team playing Xbox and then
Yep.
playing PlayStation Chris in here. But no, thank you guys for tuning in with us. We went 3 hours plus. So we'll
Dang.
see you guys next week.
Hopefully
Yeah,
it's a better week next week.
Yeah, hopefully it's a
Yeah,
better week,
I'm
man.
sure.
Like, Cubby, I don't understand. We went 3 hours with nothing to talk about. No, we had a lot to talk about. But thank you guys for watching, though. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you hit that join
Be
button and that
safe.
subscribe button. All right, be safe, be careful, and we'll see you guys.
All right, man,
Peace.
peace.
Who want that work in Mario Kart though, bro? Come on, son. Like.